Everybody has tequila. What is
I
this
know.
tequila called? This one is called Cazadores, and my personal trainer actually came and called me out on my ish in the last episode. And that is that's coming out this week. I'm very, very scared about that one episode coming out. But she told me afterwards, because we actually went drinking afterwards, that her Mexican friend recommended this. I don't know if it's racist to think it's going to be good just because a Mexican person recommended it. Is that normal? Is that racist? Like, we need to have a conversation about what is racist and what's not.
I can definitely answer that.
Yeah, well, you know what? We haven't even started the show yet. This is why we have to drink. Well, this is approved by someone who knows their tequila. And what are we going to toast to? I have a favorite toast, but I want to hear if you guys have one that's on your heart.
What do we toast to? Let's just toast to wonderful conversation and divine wisdom channeling through.
Yes, and the beauty of what happens when three witches get together.
Salud,
allies. And this is the part where they play the music. Ooh, I'm so ready.
Trying to come out.
That was, how do we feel about this?
That was a big shot, Blue.
Oh, y'all really took it all to the head?
Oh, we weren't supposed to because it was overflowing.
No, whatever you want, could happen.
I mean, I wasn't going to be a little pussy. I was going to drink the whole
Oh, okay. For those of you who are hearing
Whoa.
these beautiful voices and my burning esophagus, these are the Muses, right? And Adrienne and Janika are known as the Muses. They're amazing, amazing artists. They're amazing women. They're a couple. Yes, we love that because we are very queer affirming. I think because they're the first queer couple that we've had.
Oh, I'll
really?
take it.
Yeah, because the gays sometimes embarrass you for the company, and I'd be like, "Ooh, do we really want to put them on the show?"
Listen, the gays and couples is a conundrum in itself.
Yeah, the thing about Humanized is we want to humanize you, but in a way that you're not cringing about, right? Like nobody wants to feel like they're being exploited.
Yeah.
And so I've had a couple couples be like, we want to be on your show, and I'm like, I don't think you see you clearly.
I agree with that.
I think you think this is cute,
right?
But my audience is a little bit more expansive, and I'm gonna get a phone call that's gonna hurt your feelings.
Right. And they're going to nitpick every little. They're going to see the movements. They're going to be able to tell.
Definitely.
I think you're right. A lot of people think that they can get away with it, and it's so obvious.
Yeah, because you know why? We all live in an echo chamber. Because of the algorithm, we all get content that is curated for our taste
based
level.
On your...
And so if you're a hot mess, other hot messes are clapping for you.
Yes.
And you have no perception of how the general public receives you.
You don't, which is why the general public needs to tell the people that's a hot mess that they're a hot mess.
Oh.
Maybe they'll stop.
Wait, you think? I don't think they will, though.
No.
Because the new thing now is instead of being accountable is you now have imaginary haters.
Wait, what? Oh,
these days,
wow.
If anybody gives you any critical analysis, any loving critique, anything that actually makes sense.
Oh, wow.
My haters be out here. And I'm just like, wasn't I a hater?
Everybody can't be a hater, though.
If your wig was on crooked and I tell you to adjust it.
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't it still on crooked?
And that's love.
Mm-hmm. And that's thank you. I feel like compassionate critique is love and people mistake it as hateration.
Absolutely. They do. Especially when you're ego-driven and you're not even opening up to have room to fix yourself or grow. Or you're going to see everything as a dart your way, and in reality, in my personal experience, I've actually tried to help people, and they've taken it as me hating, and then they come back and always have to say, you were right, or I shouldn't have looked at it that way. I just wish more people thought that way.
I'm smiling at you so lovingly because I feel like I'm like a ventriloquist with my hand up a puppet because I've given that speech so many times. Like, is this what it's like to? No, seriously, when you compassionately love people, like compassion, not just being likable, but you really care about them and you fuck with them and you want them to win, it hurts you to see them play themselves.
Sad. Yeah, it's painful actually.
It's like I'm not even judging you. I just fucking know you're amazing and this ain't it. You know what I mean? But they're like,
but everybody can't take it. They can't take that criticism. They can't take that.
Not me. I'm so open. If I know it's something that's going to help me in my path or where I'm going, oh my God, please help me. Please say something.
Tell me.
Please offer advice.
But what do we always say? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I always attack that saying because I feel it's not just how you say it, it's why you say it.
Exactly.
Because I know a lot of really tactful assholes. right? And so it's usually a tactful asshole who's saying it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I was like, I might have said it wrong, but you have bad intentions.
I'm a tactful asshole.
Right? Yeah. So my thing is, if you have like an intention that is like you're trying to come for me, can we just be clear that you are coming for me? Absolutely. Whether you said it nicely or not.
Have balls though. If you're going to come for me, have the
Speak
balls.
with your whole chest.
I respect you more if you come with a little bit of nut hanging, you know?
Yo, tactful assholes are shocked when I give them a high five. Like, look at you being you out loud.
Exactly.
Look at you not lying to kick it. See, this is already showing why I'm so happy to have you guys. This is not even the show yet. This is us just like kicking it, right?
Okay, I'm feeling it.
You see,
this is how our conversations.
This is literally how we talk to each other, like all the time.
Why I wanted to come.
Oh, and then Adrienne. The love that is coming out of my heart right now. I'm so happy I made this a Valentine's episode because I was like, when I think about love, what couple makes me feel like something that I want is out there and still gives me hope, but not giving me hope in like the manufactured, heavily curated.
Well, that's boring as hell. And you'd have to choose two Aquarians to not show you that because we're going to be the least from boring.
Oh, wait, I did a thingy. It took 5 minutes. I was like, how long is it going to take for the fact that just two Aquariuses to come up?
You know it was coming.
Yes.
Within the first 10 minutes. Yes. You have to know. Just so that it makes sense.
Just so that it makes sense.
Just so we get a little bit of context as to who and how we are.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know about astrology, I'm gonna look at the camera for this part. For those who are watching on YouTube, Aquariuses are aliens, and whenever I meet you guys, I always say I apologize for Earth because I know it is ghetto. Us mere mortals cannot keep up with you. So if you know an Aquarius, you know aliens, right? So when Barack Obama was like, yes, UFOs do exist, everybody was shocked, but the three of us, right?
Right.
And I'm just weird from what all my guy friends tell me. So when you have three atypical, that's the nice word for weird, three atypical people together, there's a kinship that naturally happens because you're like, oh, she gave herself permission too.
Right.
Like, look at you.
And I love people like that. I just wish more people would be more like that. And then I wouldn't dislike people as a whole.
Oh, you know what? This is why we should.
I just wish more people were more authentic.
That's a very.
You want to win over an Aquarius? Be yourself.
Especially for her. If you are not yourself,
please. I love the ugly. I love the gutter. I love whatever you're trying to hide. Please don't.
And I think it's like that because you see through it. And when you see through it, it's just
boring.
like...
It's less insulting when they show you what's there rather than pretending that you're not seeing what you see.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so funny. You in particular give me hope because you're so super direct. I find so much peace in that somebody like could love on that and not diminish it, but also like almost clap for it, right? Like you don't ever like look down on her for being the way that she is. And you're just as much with the shits, but you're the nicer version, like front presenting. My partners tend to be like that. Like we'll both be with the shits, but I'm the one getting the bullets. I'm like, wait a minute, she or he, they both like that's the mean one. Like, what do you mean?
It's okay, y'all have no idea. Y'all be like, by the smile.
Y'all are always nice to the mean one, and then the one taking the bullets is like, wait a minute, did y'all hear what we said in the car?
I've had to calm her down. Me. Like, no, babe, we cannot take it there. Relax. Bring me down.
We could die today.
She like, babe, you cannot say that. Do not tell her that. Please don't. I'm like, man, it is what it is. I mean,
but people who are perceived as nicer, y'all can get away with that. If I cough funny, you got a problem, Blue? What happened? Like, I didn't do anything. People almost perceive combat with us because we're more obvious with it.
Yeah.
So before we get started with the hot topics, how was your weekend? I need to think
What's today?
Today the day that this is being recorded is a week before the day it's going to come out. This is a Valentine's episode.
Okay.
Today is, what is it, President's Day? What y'all
So
celebrating?
Okay.
It's just the Monday.
I don't really be
caring. I didn't even know it was a holiday. But
Yeah.
I will say that this weekend was intense.
Really, what happened?
My sister moved. She moved in with us. She's my youngest baby sister. Graduated from college in Florida and she got her master's. So she moved in. And so we're just kind of getting settled in with that. And then, so it's kind of been kind of busy, but not really.
Yeah, definitely
chilling.
busy.
We went to the beach yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
A lot of projects.
Yeah.
There's so much in that sentence. Like you said, yay, a member of my family flex, did amazing things, flex. And then we like spent some time together and worked on our highly lucrative projects and went to the beach as a loving couple that likes each other. Like, I need y'all to understand what happened in that sentence. Do you see how I hear
likes each other?
That part.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of couples out here who are only stuck with each other because they don't want to break up and have to release a
Yes.
statement to the public, but they can't stand each other.
Exactly. Or
so
that
many
rent
couples,
due.
yeah.
It's a business arrangement.
Absolutely. Because you don't like each other. No matter how much you try to put up a facade that you're in this happy relationship, you're not. You hate each other.
Exactly.
Damn.
Stop
it.
No,
you're right. She is the mean one. She did a whole read while you and I were looking at each other.
I'm trying to tell you.
Did y'all hear that? Okay, for those who are listening, play that back. She did a whole read while Adrienne and I were like lovingly looking into each other.
That's how it comes.
It's true. That's how they be. And we see right through it. It's just like, and you wonder why we don't want to hang with you.
Yeah. Oh my God, can we double date? And you're like, no, we are not.
This is not going to work.
Yes.
Because what usually happens we've been together for 10 years. We've been married for 8.
Oh my God. Can everybody in the studio just clap for that? We're in Los Angeles. You're not going to hear that on any of the shows.
And that's how we learned that we were different.
Yeah.
When we moved here, because it was like, couples would want to double date and we would be like, cool, let's double date, let's do a thing. And then it's always happens to where 99% of the time with that couple, we'll only like one of them.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same with me.
And the other one is just a hard no.
Get on my nerves. Can't stand you. Who do you think you are? How dare you?
And I hate to say it, but for me, whenever it's either a straight couple or a queer couple, it's usually the more masculine presenting one for me. I'll get it's almost like the guy or the more masculine one will feel more comfortable talking to me, like, oh, I'm not allowed to talk about my feelings, so let's do that. And then the feminine one will see that as a threat, and so that always, because she has created this Stockholm syndrome, where she's the only safe space for him or her. You know what I mean, or them. And then I'm just like, sis, you should want your partner to have more than you.
You definitely should, because
set him free, Lord. You said ill. Well, Adrienne, I don't say ill to people's faces.
I have no.
I be thinking it though. I'd be like, oh, so you are in captivity.
Yeah, you're a victim.
Yeah, and now I'm judging the relationship because one person has just shown me a very toxic dynamic. That
Absolutely, that you're playing.
And it's so hard to unsee it. And it's just like, oh, I want to free you, friend.
Right, like you're so much better.
Right, like come out of this. I see what you can be outside of that, and it's if you can see it, then you'll be free.
But you are great when it comes to feminine energy, because I feel like a lot of times when Adrienne's getting all this stuff at her, I always watch to see how the feminine presenting partner. We're using this language to be more inclusive, right? Because we're having a queer couple. And I want everybody. I always watch to see how they present themselves, because it tells you so much, not only about the relationship, but also about how safe she feels.
Yeah.
If she doesn't feel safe, she's going to be protective in a way that is harboring on like a helicopter mom. If she does feel safe, you almost forget they're a couple because it's just two friends who you're having fun with.
Yeah.
And so it's like with you guys, I sometimes forget you're a couple, even though you're very loving towards each other, because you're individuals, but you also kind of mesh into each other really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like you're watching like, ooh, what's she doing? She better not be gone for more than 2 minutes. Like, I've never gotten that from you guys.
Ew, who the hell? I would have been broke up with her. If I had to feel that way. Oh my God, I don't have time for that. Yeah. If I can't trust you, you're not getting a ring. Yeah. Ew, you're getting fucked and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that though? Do you sometimes feel like women will give you, particularly when it comes to the lesbians? Let's call a thing for those who don't know. So lesbians are just shiny gays in the Los Angeles metropolitan area who are well known. Do you sometimes feel like people are waiting for you to be funny, or they act funny to test you? Like, do you ever get that at all?
Absolutely. People try to test.
Adrienne, your whole face dropped. What's going on?
I'm gonna let her answer.
Okay.
People try to test our relationships all the time, or test us individually. And what they don't know is I'm a very loyal person. Like, I'm loyal through and through. And I know the goal that I have in my relationship. And I also know the kind of person Adrienne is. So no matter what they think they're trying to split up our dynamic or play us, we see straight through it. So it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh my God. We know pronouns matter, but for me, the pronoun that's touching me the most right now is we. I love that. Because usually when I ask that question of a couple, well, they know that I fucked them up. Like, it's a bunch of I and then like violence afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, no, I just think if you don't have trust in your person, that's just a whole nother realm of issues.
Yeah.
And who has time for that? Who has time for that? I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Well, this actually brings me to our first hot topic, because you guys know we're going to do hot topics. And don't worry, if you haven't been watching the news, I'm going to keep you abreast.
Okay.
We were talking about relationships and trusting, and somebody once told me some really interesting advice. They said, never break up with someone who you couldn't have, never date somebody who you couldn't have a healthy breakup with. Which means if someone really loves you, knowing that if they lost you, they would still do right by you, that's the only person you should be dating to begin with. But if you're dating someone who you know that if something were to, God forbid, happen and you broke up and they would completely destroy your life, that's also not a safe partner. Now, my question to that statement is, and I had some mixed feelings about that, being the Taurus that I am, because Tauruses are known for being possessive. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'll fuck a bitch up, but I love you. Like, I had a moment. I was like, I'm not sure I agree with that. But how do y'all feel about that statement? And I asked that statement because the first I want to talk about is what's happening with Ye and Kim. Right, we're watching this huge divorce happen. There's children involved, X, Y, and Z. He's fighting for his narrative. Her publicists are fighting for their stock portfolios. Whatever's happening. And I'm seeing the breakup, and to me, all I'm thinking about is children. Mm-hmm. Like even when we went to the Black brunch yesterday, the most impressive part for me wasn't being like, oh, I'm around Kanye West. It was when his kids came in. Mm. I almost wept. I was like, those beautiful babies.
Well, I have a story for you.
Yeah.
But I want to hear the question first.
So the question is, do you agree that knowing your partner would fuck shit up if y'all break up is a red flag that you should not be with them?
On surface level, yes.
Okay.
But there are situations, and it does tie into the Kanye divorce.
Right.
Maybe I should have said that. There are certain situations where you don't actually see what a person's capable of until you're broken up with them. Oh,
that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if I want to say this or not.
It's called Humanized. We all humans here.
Well, I've been married before. I have 2 daughters.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I have 2 daughters. They're both grown. 21 this year and 18 this year. And
that's beautiful.
Well, I had them very young. I was very naive. It's a long story. But their father and I were married very young. 19, very young.
Oh, you were babies.
In the church.
Oh, you were embryos.
Yeah, we both grew up together in the church.
In the church, they hold you back a little bit. Oh my
yeah,
Lord.
And they told us basically, you're not a woman unless you can have children, be fruitful and multiply, and find a man of God and all this thing. So I'm a preacher's kid, so I was very brainwashed into what my life needed to be.
Yeah.
At way too early of an age, and so because of that. And I came out, and he knew who I was, and he knew I was a gay woman fighting it and trying to get into heaven.
Were you almost the ex-gay? Were you teetering on that line of the ex-gay movement, or
absolutely not? I was in the I'm not even gay. We're not even going to talk about it.
Got it. That's different.
My ex-husband was the first person that knew I came out to him.
Oh wow!
Before we got married.
Oh,
we both entrusted each other in some secrets. So.
Keep your hands clean, bruh, because she knows the secrets.
It's on video. Mm-hmm. So when we got divorced, it was a messy divorce, and it was very similar
to what's happening
because children were involved.
Ah, that makes sense.
Because when I came out, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to hell, fuck you, and everything that you bring, I'm going to be who I am, and this is the woman I'm going to be, and this is the mother I'm going to be. He made life as much hell for me as he possibly could, and I'm going to make life hell for you.
Oh my God. And how did you show up? Because that's a challenge. Like, I'm about to
it was until I met her. Mm-hmm. It was years battle, years dirty.
Oh.
Dirty court battle. Dirty.
See, here's the thing. There's 2 different kinds of fighting, right? There's someone who's fighting for what's right, and there's someone who's creating menace and malice. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I had a bad reaction, even though I understand, to your point, like the top of that statement makes good. Like if somebody has integrity, now they have integrity when you break up.
Sure.
I'm going to always have integrity. But me having integrity when you have me fucked up, it's going to look like violence.
It's a little different.
Stranger,
yeah, it's a little different. So when a husband loses his wife for whatever reason, it might look different. But if a husband loses his wife because she's gay.
Right.
And the church knows, and this is who's raising your daughters. And Kim's example, Kim is a sex appeal type of like mother, and so you can't say the mother of your child while you're together. Yeah. And now that you're no longer together, it's an issue of how she mothers her children. In Kim's situation, she can have her daughter online if she wants to. She can do whatever she wants to do. You chose to procreate with that woman.
Mm-hmm. You know what this makes me think of? Value systems.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, and I'm not going to come for anybody's neck, a lot of times y'all pick people because they had a good BBL, or they smell good, or they got the WAP or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or for some of y'all, they got good credit and they could, buy stuff that's not under their kids' names.
Yeah.
I'm not coming for y'all, but I am. And so you have all these superficial reasons for loving somebody. And then because of that, you never check value systems. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then when you break up, suddenly your value systems are the most important thing in the world.
Because especially with social media, it has to be broadcasted. you can't look like the bad parent.
Exactly.
So it's going to get nasty. Divorce, especially with children, is going to... I got friends going through it now with kids, and they have like celebrity baby fathers.
Yes, I yes, say less. I too, and it's different when you know somebody who's going through a breakup with someone who has power
and money,
and also like visibility.
Yes, I'm saying it's social media is like they're gonna make sure, by even to your detriment, that they look good and that they don't look like they're because it's an image thing now.
Yep. You guys know a lot about astrology. Do you know what your Mars signs are? What's your Mars sign?
Aquarius.
Lord, you're the most Aquarius.
I'm Aquarius through and through.
Lord, what's your Mars sign?
I don't know my Mars sign.
My Mars sign
I got my chart.
You do.
I'm sure
it's a Capricorn.
Oh, that's real grown.
I'm heavy Earth.
Okay, yeah, you're more Earth than me, and I'm a Taurus.
Yeah,
that's a lot. My Mars is in Leo. So for those who don't know, Mars is like how you get angry and also how you fuck. I always say that, like it's how you get sexually aroused and how you beat a bitch's ass, right? And because my Mars sign is in Leo, I kind of and I also have a Gemini rising. I got a little bit of gay problems in that, like, don't fuck with my narrative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you don't like me. Say you don't like me.
Yeah. But
don't distort like reality on me.
Yeah.
I get big mad. Like literally, you could call me a bitch and be like, yeah, maybe I'm a bitch.
Maybe I was.
But don't lie on me,
right?
though.
But let's put the facts out
I will
there.
fight you if you lie on me.
Yeah.
Let the facts drag me, bitch. Like don't make shit up.
I'm not embarrassed that I was a bitch.
Right.
But just tell the truth.
Yeah, don't
tell why I was a bitch.
I think a part of me is like, in a relationship, if I was to break up with somebody, as long as they kept it a buck, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, same.
Tell them like I kicked the table from underneath you because you had me fucked up. But don't make up stuff. Like I didn't take you to the hospital afterwards. By the way, I'm not violent, guys. I'm just giving a metaphoric example. So we both agree that. Well, do you agree as well? I want to make sure. Do you agree with that statement? How do you feel about that statement?
I mean, don't judge me based off of how I act outside of a breakup because.
That felt like a threat. Okay, for those who are watching, Adrienne answered very impassionedly. Janika looked over at Adrienne like, look, this is a warning.
Yes, because if I'm in a relationship, well, depending on the relationship, but if I'm in a relationship and I give my all, best believe, if I feel like I've given all of me,
right,
and we're just going to part and you're going to act a certain way, you're going to see the wrath of who I am.
Yeah, she's scarier than us.
You're not even going to recognize who I am. You're going to be like, that is not the person I was in a relationship with.
10 years together, and the few times that I've seen her mad, it wasn't with me. It was someone who messed with me.
Oh, you like me then? Yeah,
I was.
You look scared now, Adrienne.
Baby, we got shit to lose. You cannot do this. You cannot fucking set these people house on fire.
So you're the sniper in the room.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, no, I like snipers. See, here's the thing I'm realizing. I'm going to manifest this actively with you guys. The beauty of having 3 witches together is that I feel like we have the power through like Charmed or something. Like somebody needs to make a show to that. Like seriously. And so like, I'm going to manifest that at some point I'm going to have some point soon, because I'm getting older, and I'm not saying I'm getting too old, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
I get that.
Being tired is very different than feeling old. I don't feel old. I'm just like, can I sit somewhere and like do that with somebody else? Yeah. I'm going to manifest a partner who is deserving of me inviting you guys on a double date and knowing they will not embarrass me.
Let's go.
I'm down
for that.
That second part is important.
I'm down for that.
I'm with it.
I've had a couple of exes that would never bring around y'all out of respect.
Or, bring them around us, and then when they're gone, we can tell you the real tea.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah, we've definitely done that.
Yeah.
Are you the friends who keep it real with the partners?
You want to know.
I'm going to keep it real with you if I like you. If I like y'all as individuals, I'll tell the person who I like. If I don't care for neither one of y'all go and be married.
And I won't even say anything unless they ask.
Yeah. If you ask, I might even lie.
She said, "Go be married."
If I don't like you, I don't care.
You with your polished shit boyfriend. Y'all go have some fun.
Okay. Because we know it's not. We'll get in the car and be like, "That is 3 months. What's your take? 6?
Oh, okay.
Who's usually right? Be honest.
Me.
And who's usually has the more conservative, like lower numbers? Are usually you that picks the more pessimistic answer? Or
I'm definitely more pessimistic.
Yeah. So you be like voting for love and you vote against it and you keep winning.
I'll be like, well, and she'd be like, no. Babe, no.
You know who I wish I'd done that with someone? Anybody who knew Janet Jackson when she was dating Jermaine Dupri. That's the segue to the next hot topic.
I'm so sad for her.
The next hot topic is the Janet Jackson documentary.
Yes.
And I have my notes here that say, Janet Jackson, let's talk about women who show too much damn grace.
Facts.
Did y'all see the documentary?
It made me angry.
Oh, it made me violent.
Okay, I wasn't alone.
It sat with me for 72 full hours.
Because black women, what the hell?
Y'all don't deserve a... Okay, let me breathe.
What the hell, man?
Who cheats on Janet Jackson?
Let me just say, I love the black community as a whole. Men, women, non-binary, and every shade in between. However, feminine black energy is probably the most nurturing thing on the planet because it is the source of all life. Scientifically speaking, Google your mama, because I didn't make that up, right?
Eve's DNA.
Right. So, because it is like the source of nurturing, when we misdirect it at the wrong person, Adrienne looks so mad.
Listen, it just made me angry because...
Y'all want more tequila? I feel like we need to drink on this one.
I want another shot.
You can pour, because I pour heavy.
Gotcha.
I went to bartending school. I got kicked out. They were like...
come on, bartender.
They were like, no, you're going to get fired immediately because you pour too heavy.
Well, we tip heavy when we get a heavy
I got
bartender.
in so much trouble at bartending. They were like, where's the rest of the bottle? I was like, I made 2 drinks. They're like, that was for 6 drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's discuss Jermaine Dupri and why I wanted to slap the smile on his face when he was talking about cheating.
Didn't he think it was funny? I want to slap him.
All these years later. Yeah, the thing about dating Jen Jackson is, imagine
it brings on other women,
all the other bitches, and I had to be a man. No, that's not what manhood. I believe in men too much to say that's
definitely not man. You got Janet Jackson. Shut up.
I mean, but maybe clearly he never got the attention that he got until he got with Janet Jackson. So they probably was like, oh, well, despite the fact.
We used to think you ugly, but you got Janet.
Right.
Right. Oh, you pulled Janet. Okay, then.
I just felt bad for her because I really want her to be happy. I feel like she's gotten the sharp end of the stick her whole career when it comes to men, just throughout her life. And from her father to her management to Justin Timberlake to just different men in her life who have been messing with her. And I just want to see her happy. And the only time that she really seemed happy was the brief second she talked about her son.
Don't get me started on that. I was heavily triggered.
Yeah.
When that man, the white guy with the luxurious hair, I don't know what his name, but he looked like Fabio's granddaddy. When he came on and said, well, the love of her life ended up being her son, I said, fuck you very much, sir.
No, because that makes it issue.
So tired of you guys acting like black matriarchs have to settle for love that they've birthed and raised and nothing else.
Agreed.
We get to be soft and supple as much as everybody else. Mm-hmm. My fucking son is not the same thing as a partner.
He's never going to be the same. And I'm glad that you differentiated between the two.
I'm so angry when they try to conflate like romantic love with like nurturing maternal love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we're not good enough to be loved up on and fucked like everybody else.
No, and that all leads back to slavery because what was the black mother?
Yeah. There was little baby sucking on our teeth that didn't belong to us.
That's my point.
Oh, that makes me so mad. You know what I will say, though? What do y'all think about her directive for us to forgive Justin?
That's between her and him. I ain't got to do
that part because...
That's between her and him because it was one too many. Yeah. He did the same thing with Brittany. He throws a stone, hides his hand, and just kind of hides in the back and with the whole blonde hair, blue eye trope bullshit. I don't know. He should have stood there. It never made sense to me.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl thing, it never made sense to me. I don't care that she was older. Mm-hmm. I don't care that it was her breast. She did not take her hand and rip her own bra off. Mm-hmm. He did that, whether it was performative, an accident, on purpose or not. He was the puller.
Yeah.
And in my opinion,
he's the one who exposed her.
He's the one who exposed her. Exactly. Mm-hmm. He's the one that did it. And for her to even have to say anything or handle the brunt of any bad publicity for all these years is sad because she didn't even do it. I would get it if she did it by accident and she was dancing, but he did it.
Yeah, and nothing happened to him.
But I guarantee if it was Britney Spears that was accidentally exposed by Justin Timberlake, they would have dragged Justin Timberlake, not the brown-skinned black woman.
Well, you know about what we say about how white womanhood is the pearl of white supremacy, and that's historically
that's what I'm saying.
So it's like Britney would have been protected just historically for that reason.
Because of the white savior woman trope, but at the same time,
I hate that shit.
Because she was a black woman and a black superstar, it could have been Beyonce, it could have been Sierra, it could have been anyone. They're never going to blame anyone other than the person that was exposed.
And it's so crazy too, as a resident token, like I'm always tokenized, like as the one black friend, it just shows that no matter how much you're considered the exception to a white supremacist rule, when it's time to check you, they will waste no time checking you, no matter how far you've gotten, no matter what your stature is. And even if you got an EGOT, Y'all know where I'm going with this one.
Please.
Y'all like these segues?
Yeah.
You see how they just
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing.
Whoopi motherfucking Goldberg. I might start calling her Karen again because I'm mad.
My mama named Karen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
for real.
There needs to be a play for little black girls whose mamas are named Karen.
Say your mama is Karen.
Yeah, the thing I will say is that I've had so many of my Jewish friends and my black friends in my DMs, and we've had some amazing conversations, and they're all respectful.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that I want to model is you can have a very righteous indignation, you disagree left and right, and still not dehumanize people. The show's called Humanized for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that every single one of them got real quiet on because they thought it was their gotcha, and I kept going. So you ain't got shit. Is the fact that in the 1930s, when they were making up crude ways to be hateful, they were misidentifying themselves as the Aryan race.
Which actually, Aryan race, you said misidentified. You get it.
So a bunch of hateful dummies misidentified themselves. And then after about 100 years of Black academics actually being able to come to the table and have real conversation about what race and oppression really looks like in its many facets, when we were finally able to speak about our own pain, then it was realized that there's actually a difference between race and ethnicity.
Yep.
And that ethnic cleansing and racism are both ugly, but cannot be conflated.
Can't.
For you to say that we have to stick to the rigid words that were used by a bunch of idiots in the 30s and not acknowledge race as it is now more fully understood because you've allowed us to talk and have a say in it is actually racist to me. It's racist that 100 years of growth that involves us has to be ignored in order to call something racism that isn't. It's ethnic cleansing, it's bigotry, it's ugly, but it's factually not racism. And you fighting for the right to ignore and a racist for 100 years, just to talk about your own pain, is a privilege.
Well,
go ahead.
I study this kind of stuff.
Hit it. Oh, I can't wait.
As an ex-member of the church and double preacher's kid, I was kind of forced for my own sanity.
Oh, I love this.
To study not only my religion, because I didn't want to go to hell and being married to the love of my life. So I'm going to go in depth. When I finished that one, I wanted to go more in depth in all religions, or at least all the major ones. Judaism, Islam, Yoruba, all different kinds of things. And in my opinion, I love studying history.
Yes.
As an adult.
It's so fun, guys.
Because
Seriously.
if you don't, you're going to be subjected to repeating the same thing. Nothing's new under the sun. If you don't know what happened before, you'll be subjected to fall victim to it now. When it comes to what you were saying, and I'm agreeing totally with you, we have to first describe and define what race actually means. To be racist, you have to be able to have a system of oppression, a system. You have to be able to own this system of oppression. I can be discriminative, but I can't physically, by definition of the word racism, I cannot be racist. As a Black woman, I don't own any systems I can't oppress a group of people with court and jail and school education and keep people out of different housing areas and college and education and
the prison pipeline.
Exactly. I can't control that. Neither can anyone that I can name because it's all owned by a certain group of people. So by definition, you cannot call anyone racist if they are not in this state of being where they can own a system to be able to oppress anyone. So let's stop that shit right there.
Yeah.
The second thing is race is just that. Let's make race what it. I seen a TikTok joke where they were like, all these people have this culture, but the running joke was that the Europeans in America don't really have a culture that they can go back on.
Okay.
And so they were, and then this one white guy, he was really funny. He goes, actually, you're wrong. We do have a culture. We created racism. And in reality, it's true. Shit.
That is
so you can't be mad
at questionable flex, but it's not historically inaccurate.
Right.
Okay.
You can't be mad at the people who want to keep a definition of the word they created.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at the people who created a concept they created. There was no concept of whiteness.
Yeah.
More than a few hundred years ago. Because even as a white person, an Italian person couldn't come up and consider themselves white. Benjamin Franklin, correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been someone else, but I want to say Benjamin Franklin said basically in one of his writings that he was describing who was white and who was not. And there were a whole bunch of white people that would consider themselves white adjacent today, or white that was not considered white by his standards.
Absolutely.
So it has been changing throughout the years. And if we want to talk about the Jews, because I've studied the Holocaust too.
And I personally have met Holocaust survivors.
Same. I have Jewish friends.
Yeah, so like this is not an anti-Semitic conversation.
Definitely never.
This is the honest conversation from Black people who do not dislike Jewish people, who want to be honest about how we're different from each other.
Because if you don't pay attention to what happened in the Holocaust, it can happen to you again.
Donald Trump tried to make it come back.
Absolutely. And when I say you, I don't mean Black people.
Right.
I mean the other white people who's under the umbrella of whiteness.
Yeah.
You don't. If it's capable of happening before, it's capable of happening in the future. So we should all be paying attention to what was done. Did you know that the Nazis actually took notes from America, slavery, in order to torture?
Doesn't surprise me at all.
The Jews?
Let me tell you something.
It's documented. They actually took notes on how the South treated slaves, on how to kill the Jews. That's documented.
Let's talk about that.
The Nazis needed to learn how to do it. They learned from racists in America.
This is a commercial, Daddy. I learned it from you.
Exactly.
And what I love about this conversation is that a lot of times people mistake anecdotal pain with systemic oppression.
Absolutely.
So if you are a white person who can tell me a story about how you moved to an urban neighborhood and got called honky or discriminated against anecdotally by every Black person in your neighborhood, that was a couple Black people discriminating against you in a neighborhood.
Right.
I'm being systemically oppressed by the whole world.
Absolutely.
They are not the fucking same.
By the state system.
You can leave the neighborhood. Right. I can't leave my Blackness. Right.
You can go somewhere else.
You literally have options. I don't.
You can literally go to the bank right now. Same peoples, white and Black. Same age, same income, same job history, same whatever. They will get approved for the home loan. You will not.
Yeah.
But you're expected to go get that 10% to Jesus Christ on Sunday. And he's required to... And the preachers are required to go ahead and deposit that money in the bank. Guess who's going to get the approval for the loans? Not the Black and brown people in the church.
Yeah.
That's
when they give the money to the preachers, they go deposit the money in the bank. The bank is approving Joshua and Johnny and Christina.
Somebody right now is watching this and they're saying, and I think there's a little bit of noise upstairs. You guys can block that out, right? Because you guys blocked it out last time. Last time you guys blocked it, you were able to block it out. I'm talking to the producers real quick, guys. We have people upstairs who apparently are moving all their furniture during this taping. If you don't hear it, just imagine there's a phantom that's happening. I worked at the grill for several years. And one of the stories that I had to work on was about a couple that literally had an appraiser come to their home. Got one price. This happened in real life a year ago.
I work for Chase Mortgages, so I
know.
So
for those of you, I'm saying this for those in particular who are saying that we're making this up.
Yeah.
They literally took away all identifiers in their homes. Everything black. And they had their white friend come in and it went up like $100K.
It's true.
So I need you people to know that we're not talking about the past, we're talking about the present. And when I had somebody, a Black man actually, and he's a wonderful actor. And if he's watching this, I want to thank you for your bravery in talking to me, because you could have been scared, but you chose to talk to me. He was caping very hard for us to call what happened racism to the Jewish community instead of just calling anti-Semitism. I think anti-Semitism is it scared me as a child.
Repeat that?
He was fighting for the ability to not call it anti-Semitism, but to just call it racism.
What Whoopi said?
No, yeah. It was a Black actor, and he told me, he came in my DMs, he was like, I think what Whoopi said was wrong, because what the Jews went through was racism, and if we don't call it racism, then we won't be honoring how horrific it was.
But isn't Jewish, this is just me asking a question, isn't being a Jew religion?
It's an ethnicity. It's an ethnicity, yeah. It's a whole culture. Because they are, and this is
isn't there Black Jews?
Yeah, this is why I always say ethnicity is not the same thing as race, right? So when you have an ethnicity, it's a whole culture, which means, number one, when I say ethnicity, it's actually being expansive, more expansive than religion, right? Because if you are a non-practicing Jewish person and you were culturally raised Jewish, I want to make sure my language makes room for you too. So the fact that y'all came for me when I was making extra room for y'all gets me very upset. True, yeah. So by me calling an ethnicity, I'm saying you are culturally Jewish, whether you're Ashkenazi or anything else. Yeah. You're culturally Jewish, so your culture and your religion and your food and your baba and your whatever else you do, I'm going to make room for all of it to be acknowledged as an ethnicity.
You have to.
I'm giving you a cultural identity and letting you know that culture is still not race, though.
No, it's not.
I'm Afro-Latina. I'm still Black.
Yeah.
My race is Black.
Right.
I eat arroz con pollo, but I'm a nigga.
You can't have a monopoly on racism.
But,
you can't.
The whole point of racism is to think that you can.
Well, certain people can't have a monopoly on racism. No, you can't have a monopoly on it.
Yeah. It's really crazy when somebody sent me a video, and the video was of a scholar allegedly explaining why being Jewish was racism. What happened with the Nazis, and Amy Schumer was underneath it saying, "Yeah." And I was like, the funniness of a millionaire blonde woman championing in the comment section the ability to call herself someone who has a history of racism that her family has dealt with is exactly the point of why it's dangerous to conflate them.
And also to add to you, when
Amy Schumer
wants
to say that there's racism.
When the United States government went in and helped, I think it was World War II. I always get confused, but they actually hit a lot of those Nazi scientists. And you can't say that was racism if they weren't able to be hidden amongst the white population in America.
Because people who deal with racism can't hide.
Yes. People like me, I can't hide. I can be a Black Jew.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's an ethnicity
because
that you can join.
Yes, but I can't hide my Blackness.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't conflate the two.
It's whenever you conflate anti-Semitism with racism, you give Black people an opportunity to be further oppressed by folks who are standing next to them, even though they know they stand above them.
Agreed.
And that is hurtful to my community, and you shouldn't have to hurt my community in order to talk about the egregious things that's happened to your community.
Well, the difference really lies with the Defamation League.
Yeah.
So Black people need to get a Defamation League, because Defamation League don't play when it comes to they don't play. They don't play. So maybe we just need to.
I want a Jewish organization to bring it to the table so I can talk about how we can champion what y'all are going through without shitting on us.
Come on.
Because I would love that.
Because it's been a huge educational point for me moving here from Florida. I moved here and I noticed I'm going to regret talking about this.
You're not going to talk about anything. It's a safe space.
You just have to be really careful.
You're not careful, because careful speaks of fear. You're mindful.
Well, I'm mindful.
You're mindful, yes.
Okay, so when I moved here and we made very strong observations like, oh, okay, so this is the Jewish community. Then I started to learn that, the Jewish community really how they culturally take care of their own, how they culturally.
Oh, I love that shit.
Oh my God, right? Build for their communities.
Shout the fuck out to y'all.
Facts. Because I do have a Jewish friend, and shout out to you, you know what I'm saying?
You say her name. We love her.
Shout out Christina. You know what I'm saying? She hooked us up with the Insecure. Our art was on Insecure. So this is definitely like, we have conversations with our Jewish friends all the time
because they love you. Because friends who love you them, will not want to harm you. Just to have a conversation
absolutely.
With you.
And so we talk about these things, and she's very open. I love her so much. Like just talking to her. So to what you're saying, no, this is not anti-Semitic, and this is not anti-Jewish or anything. But I would love to be able to have more conversations with how they took their oppression
and were able to
and get reparations.
Oh. Talk about that.
To this day.
Yep.
Look that up. that might have a lot to do with a lot of the help and assistance with the communities and the neighborhoods and the Anti-Defamation League and all the things that they can pour into their communities to protect themselves from it ever happening again. I really feel like as a people, we should do the same thing. And
what you're saying, though, does speak to something that, since we love history. Here's the thing: we're gonna move past history in a second, but it's very rare that I talk to other people who actually know any kind of history, because a lot of people
people don't read.
People don't read. They don't look things up. They have knee-jerk emotional reactions. They read memes all day long and they take that as facts. They think Wikipedia is the encyclopedia. So like, there's a lot of things happening. So it's very rare that I can have this conversation without feeling like I'm overwhelming somebody intellectually. So I just want to thank you guys for that.
Aquarians.
That's true.
Stimulate us intellectually.
I'm talking to people who come from UFO, so this is nothing to you. What we were talking about the ability of both, and I'm going to call out another group that I'm actually an ally to, but like talk about Froggy because I'm an ally, right? Like I can talk about you, Froggy, because I've talked to you directly and we've had this conversation as actual friends. So people are always shocked when they hear me talk about the Whoopi thing and then they find out that an old lady named Mrs. Cohen was my surrogate grandmother growing up. But like, here's the thing about Mrs. Cohen. She loved me as her token, her exception, right? Because my mother worked at a nursing home with Jewish people. It was called the Star of David Nursing Home. It was only Jewish people. But when Mrs. Cohen's son came, he was racist. And so I had to go away. And so I very early understood ethnicity because I went to Catholic school and the white folks were talking crazy about Mrs. Cohen. So I knew she was an oppressed minority in some way. But when her son came around, I was still a nigga. I was still black.
That's the same thing with
And so
me.
we have to be honest about that as allies to groups that have more privilege than us, we can acknowledge their pain, but we're always told that we're at the bottom of the food chain. And you're not finna lie to my face about the fact that you know I'm at the bottom of the food chain.
And that's what I mean by you can't have a monopoly on oppression.
And if you do, we always know who's at the bottom.
Yes, please acknowledge who's really at the bottom. You can't have a monopoly on it. Yes, you're on the bottom, but there are people who are below you. Look down.
And they love you and would love for you not to steal their shit.
Yes.
Just so that you have a sexier boogie. Racism is such a sexy boogeyman. And part of privilege is that it makes people who are not versed on racism feel like they are entitled to everything.
Absolutely.
So really uneducated white people think that everything belongs to them because all the commercials look like them. All the bottles look like them.
Yeah.
The color nude is your color, not my color.
Yeah.
I'm not the color of nude. My nude is not even acknowledged, right? Let's talk about that at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when your brain is told that you are the default, anytime that you have to acknowledge someone else, you feel like you're losing something.
Yeah.
It's almost like equality feels like oppression to you.
Yeah.
And you actually want access, like, oh, the only thing I don't have access to is the word racism and the N-word.
Nigger.
Can I have both? I'm like, wait a minute, you gave me this pain and now you're mad that I get to call it what I want. Like, wait, what?
I even jokingly say this to my kids all the time. I'm like, listen, y'all can even say nigga. Just pay a bitch. Reparations.
If you gave me
let's
put it on the table $1 million.
Right.
If you give everybody in the I'm gonna tell you, look right now, if you give everybody in the hood $1 million, I will let you say the N-word.
Absolutely. You can rap, you can't say it to me, but you can rap it in the Drake song.
Okay.
And you just said even if you give me the $1 million, I might still beat you up.
Okay.
No,
but I'll let you
still hold a chance of getting swung on, but you can sing it in a Drake song.
If my biggest issue in the world is that I could not accurately call what was happening to me racism, and I could not use the N-word,
if that's the
but
only
I could
thing,
do everything else that comes with white privilege, sign me the fuck up. Y'all's problems don't even sound like my problems. Like, what is happening right now?
Right.
But you know what? We have to be honest. When we talked about what we want to learn from the Jewish community, the government helped them though, right? Because there's something called the model minority. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, please Google model minority.
Yeah,
it's when the government has looked up certain non-Black minorities that they're going to help out and say, well, they were oppressed and they're still doing better than the Black.
But you know, that's all a part of divide and conquer. That's how
they got the Asian community against us.
That's what I was going to say.
They made them a model minority.
Who also still get reparations to this day.
Y'all see a pattern? Just give us our stuff.
Just give us our shit.
Right.
But the problem is our shit is the country.
Well, that's the problem.
And then we have to give it back. And then we have to give it back to the natives that are left. And and then everybody was like upset.
But I won't say that on camera. But you're close.
I mean, some of us are natives.
There you go. You said it, not me.
Let me tell you one more time. The show is called Humanized.
You said it, not me.
Okay.
That's the real secret they don't want to know. They don't want people to find out.
So some of the natives are Black, y'all. And that's why when people say, oh, don't say, spirit animal because it's the natives.
Don't use white sage because it's native. Hold on, baby. The natives are like me. You better go read them accounts of when Christopher Columbus came over here. They didn't look like what you see in the books today. Mm-hmm. They look copper colored.
Yeah. There are so many ways to slice it to say that the originators of everything that happened is Blackness, and it's not us just trying to like make. And here's the funny thing, right? Mm-hmm. I was once told that I have the self-esteem of a mediocre white man because the joke is mediocre white men are the one who tend to have the best self-esteem, mm-hmm. and like because the world is their oyster, right? The world is made for them, and I have a lot of white male friends who I feel real comfortable with you. I'm like, damn, maybe I do speak their language, and I think it's because I walk around as if everything belongs to me. The world has told me it doesn't.
It doesn't. It is, but
I don't move like it doesn't.
Yeah. You're a very small percentage of Black women who do, and I try to teach my daughters to walk through life like that because like you said, everything around them tells them not to.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
Well, here's the thing: the person at the shop for that, she bullied me as a child. She might see this. Her name was Giselle Renee. I was saying names today. I feel violent. Growing up, she's the reason why I didn't like the color purple until I saw Prince. Oh. Because growing up, she used to love the color purple, and her she had like purple lavender all of the time, and she had Barbie dolls, and I'd go play with her. And one day, her mother came and offered her food, and her mother was like, "Are you hungry?" And I was about to say yes, and she's like, "Don't say anything." So I said no, and she ate in front of me, and did not give me any food.
Oh.
And she bullied me, and she made me feel
what a cunt.
Oh man.
Yeah, but the beauty about knowing what it's like to be bullied is that it made me righteously indignant. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, oh, okay, not all skin folk are kinfolk.
Yeah, buddy.
And so one of the things that Giselle taught me is that sometimes you have to be the person who bullies the bullies.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that was the one friend who did that, by the way. Mm-hmm. After her, I was like, I'm never gonna have a friend who won't let me eat. But when I came home, I cried and said, Mom, Giselle wouldn't let me eat. She's like, you spent all day there. Why were you hungry? Mm-hmm. I said, because Giselle told me I couldn't eat. My mother, I've never seen the rage in her eyes. She grabbed me and she sat down. She said, don't you ever, she swore for the first time, don't you ever let me hear somebody fucking told you couldn't have something. Yeah. I said, excuse me? I was like, first of all, she's swearing, so I'm already scared. Yeah. She's like, don't you ever come here and tell me that you let somebody tell you couldn't have something. Everything is yours. Mm-hmm. If it's theirs, then you ask. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if something is offered to you and you deserve it, say yes. Everything is yours.
Absolutely.
And that moment of me seeing, and then she wanted to like go to Giselle's house and cuss at her mother. mother. Like, my mother was feeling violent that day. My mother put that in my head so much when I got older and I was 16 and this boy liked me, but my friend asked for his number. And I was like, damn, I can't talk to him because she's talking to him. When she later said, I don't really like him that much. I said, well, can I have him then? And she was like, excuse me? I was like, well, he like me and I like him. And my mama told me that as long as I'm not stealing from nobody, I can have whatever I want.
And I mean, she said it was
I took it too far, right? But there's something about telling a 7-year-old.
No, your mother broke the spell.
I've not been the same since I was 7 years old.
She gave you the golden key to grow up in this country without the spell being around you. Because one thing you have to deconstruct as a grown Black woman is teaching yourself that everything is yours.
Even if it came from you still have to tell yourself. You still
have to teach yourself.
We are you guys, we've gotten into so much. This episode, it's 222, guys, which is my angel number.
Come on, 222.
Oh, can we do something on 222?
Well, we plan on it.
Oh no, that felt like y'all making a baby or something. I'm away.
No, one of those.
The look 222, right?
Yeah, I was just like 222, such a
actually. I kind of, but see, no, I really want to go to Joshua Tree, but we want to.
I mean, we are. We're the planning committee, so yes, we're gonna have a Joshua Tree trip. We're not gonna tell you when because you guys are thirsty, and we're gonna be in the planning committee. The thing I love about this conversation is, I think a lot of people who started hearing this conversation thought we were gonna be a bunch of angry Black women, and then they heard the love that accidentally came in because when you are a compassionate person, people can tell when you're talking from passion, not from hate.
Yeah.
You would have to be intellectually dishonest to hear this conversation. And even if you disagree with us,
you're still going to listen.
Not to recognize the love that was still infused in this conversation, right?
Well, yeah, sure, for sure.
Which is why I want to pivot to a story that you tried to tell me about. I didn't let you tell me off camera.
Uh-oh.
You said you'd never listened to a podcast before.
No, that's true. That's true.
This is the time where the Muses would like to formally apologize to all the people who have asked them to be on podcasts. And could not get them in the studio. I want you to not take it personal. And
please don't take it personal.
Please don't, you guys.
Everything is divine timing.
Yes. It was divine timing.
Right.
I was a witch, but you said the first podcast you ever listened to was this.
Yeah. I paint for a living, so I usually listen to playlists on my Spotify. Or
for those of you who know who she is, her saying that she paints for a living is hilarious. It's like LeBron saying, I dribble balls for a living. But go ahead. Yes, you paint for a living.
Thank you for
that part.
But, I paint for a living. I have to do it with music. So this one particular day, this was before she even invited us to be on her show. This one particular day, I was painting Anubis and I just wanted to listen to something that was different. So I was like, let me listen to a podcast. And they wanted to give me all the read and all this other stuff. I don't know. I never listened to it. I know what a podcast is.
Yeah.
I'm not
I never listened to a podcast until I was on one. So I feel
right. Yeah. So I was like, oh no, Blue has a podcast. Let me listen to one of hers. And it was the one where you, I think you were with DJ Charisma.
DJ Damage.
I'm sorry.
No, although DJ Charisma is actually a great name for him. He's a Libra. You know how they are.
So sorry.
So the episode with Damage was the first one you ever listened to? That was our most popular episode.
I did not want to cut it off. Really? I was like, this is what a podcast is? Okay.
Well, shout out to Damage. He's coming back in April.
Okay, Damage.
Yeah, but that was a great episode. It was all about love.
Ironically.
You are a witch and a half. Because the fact that the first podcast you listened to was an episode about love.
Nothing
and then you were asked to come to that same podcast to talk about love.
Did I not tell you? Nothing shocks me anymore at this point.
So I thought I booked you, but you booked yourself.
I don't know what happened. No, you still booked it. No. It was just months before you knew.
I am a cog in the wheel. You see that, right? No, now I feel like I was used by the universe.
I didn't say nothing.
Because I literally was like, who should I have for the Valentine's episode? And like the voice of Samuel L. Jackson, you know you gotta get the music, right? Like it was almost
not
like
the black god.
It was like mischievous black god though. Like snakes with this motherfucking plane. Right. And so I was like, you're right, because they're with the shits. And I can talk about the kind of love that I can relate to. Because there's other like amazing power couples.
Facts. Right. We do have couple friends. Let me just say.
No, yeah, you guys have several power couples.
Yeah,
that you know.
we do have couple friends.
But relatability is personal.
Facts.
Like who has the kind of relationship that I suspect is the only one that would work for me to stay with somebody? And y'all were the first one. Can I think of anybody else? Y'all might be the only couple that I can personally relate to. All the other couples who know me, I love you. Now I gotta apologize. You
gotta throw it in there.
Fuck. So all the other couples, I love y'all. I don't think I'm ever gonna be y'all though. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And so I think we should talk about love now because we've literally talked about religion, race, like social. We talked about all the things they tell you not to talk about at dinner parties.
I know. Please don't cancel
because
me.
It makes everybody uncomfortable.
They didn't try to cancel me 3 times already.
You can't be canceled because you never subscribed.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, that's not how that works. You can't be canceled. So before we talk about love, I quickly want to talk about parenting because the fact that you guys are co-parenting is a beautiful thing. I've always said I wanted to have one biological child, but then I want to adopt a child over 7. Because kids who are of color and who are over 5 minutes old, people don't want them, right?
Yeah.
And I know that for you in particular, like getting into a relationship with somebody who already had children, I've been wanting to ask you this. Since the day I laid eyes on y'all's narrative, I was like, oh, I got some questions for the other one because
ask away.
Yeah, I got questions because I met Muse through your art and like I went to come to one of your events.
Oh yeah,
and then I was like, oh, there's a wife. What's going on? And then I got very, very like fascinated by you. So how did it feel? Number one, in the gay community, for those who don't know anything about LGBTQ plus community. They often act as if you are in any way masculine of center, non-hyper feminine, that the very idea of being maternal and having a child is a no-no. And so there are a lot of women who wouldn't even date another woman who has a child because they're like, what?
Yeah.
Studs can't be having babies. I mean, they need to learn how vaginas work and ovaries and such. So how did it feel being with someone who had children and having to deal with the community's perception of that? And then also having to do with just the fact that now you're like you have children.
Well, for me, it's funny that she's laughing too because she told me when she met me, she was like, "I would never date somebody that had kids."
Adrienne,
and I was like, "It's
you're
funny
problematic and you're human."
And
I'm
honest.
honest.
It's funny
you're
that
human.
you said that
you're
because
human.
you have
that
kids.
was my way of thinking at that time. I'm gonna stand by.
We've evolved.
I was going through a lot with 2 kids.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I don't want no more kids.
Right. For me, it was something that I would say I had to become adjusted to because at the time
How old were they when you guys met?
I would say I think they were like 10 and 7 or
I think
8
Asia
and
was
7.
9 and 7.
Yeah, they both were in elementary.
Those are
They
grown babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had already,
they had personalities already.
Oh, they were
they definitely did. But they were amazing kids. But it was something I had to, wrap my head around because I mean, I feel like I was still growing as an adult.
How old were you?
I was 23 when I met her.
Well, your frontal lobe hadn't even fully congealed
yet.
Not at all.
So
oh my God.
all I knew was that, okay, this woman has kids and they're like babies. They're like kids. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to judge you. They're going to do all this. But then at the same time, I just like thought about Adrienne. It was just like, whatever she comes with, I'll take it because I know I didn't want to be with nobody else but her. So however anybody else thought about it, that didn't even pop in my head because it's like, this is the relationship that I want, the relationship I need, the relationship that I want to be in forever. So whatever is going to get thrown at me, whatever I have to, adapt to, I'll do it because this is what I want and I know I don't want anything else. So it was just as simple as that. And everything just worked out. I mean, me and the girls got along. I love them. They had a lot in common with me, being kids, and we just clicked.
Yeah,
that's a Valentine for all the mothers.
I think now that I hear it, like, I was more concerned. I was like, these are my kids. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to take care of them. Yeah, this is my responsibility. I
say that again because a lot of Black mothers feel apologetic when they're dating and they have children. Like a lot of Black mothers feel like that.
I did. I was like, these children. First of all, I didn't even introduce none of the girls I was dating to my children.
Oh wow!
Until I was ready to have a relationship with them. And sense. I was a hoe.
Yeah, so but
we see a lot.
Wait. We slipped past that real fast. You was a what? You was a hoe.
Yo, yeah.
How old were you when y'all met?
I was 30. She was 23.
So the fact that, let me tell you, by 30, that's a lot of hoeing that can get out your system.
I had a lot to fit in because I got married young and I left the church. And so when I became my own gay self.
Yeah, that post-church hoeing is different.
I was a kid in a candy store. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going out doing the hoeing. The hoeing was coming to me and I was accepting it.
And for those who can see, this is a very attractive couple. The hoeing, I believe, was coming.
Because I would never cross another woman's issues. But anyway, I really feel like I was like, these are my kids. You ain't got to do nothing. Trust me. I just want you to be here. But I'm still paying attention to the dynamic and how they feel about you. I'm still looking. They loved her. They loved her.
So easy to just be in their lives. And I feel like when you're truly into someone and they tell you something like that, it's like, no, I'm going to fit in this space because this is the space that we're going to grow from. And
can you repeat that one more time for the people in the back? Hit it. This is the Valentine's episode. When you love somebody, you do what now?
Yes, you find any kind of way that you can to fit yourself into that space, because if you know for sure that you want to be with that person forever, you're going to find a way to make it work. This is the foundation. We're going to grow from here. So no matter what that looks like, baby, let's grow. Let's do it. I mean, she was like, yeah, you don't have to feel responsible. I was like, no, but I am responsible. Like, these are going to be my children as well. Like, you don't know yet, we're dating, but I'm going to be your wife.
Oh, you better claim it. She said, hello, I'm your wife. Nice to meet you. You know what's so crazy is that I love that you're saying that, because I recently realized over the weekend, I get triggered by anybody who makes me feel like I'm inconveniencing them to do something nice for me. If you offer to do something nice for me and making it convenient for me, you get upset that you have to put in any effort to do something nice for me. I now don't feel like I'm loved.
Right.
Because if you really, I don't ask often. So if you really loved me, this little bit of effort wouldn't even occur to you.
Yeah, it's not a chore.
And all I hear is you don't like me a lot.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, I gotta find a way to fit this in. This is second nature.
I was judging myself. I was like, am I overreacting?
No, you're not. Yeah. And you're not an easy person to love, and you do deserve. You're not a hard person to love, and you do deserve everything that you ask for.
And I be asking for so little, because you know how we are. We're like, look, I don't like to ask. Can you pass the peas? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so prideful.
It's that fixed sign, I think.
Yeah,
it is. That fixed it.
Like, that's why you just got to know. And I would say for me, it's just the knowing. Yeah. Like, I knew what you needed, knew what you wanted. And the things that I didn't know, we talked about it, communicated, set the boundaries. This is what's going to happen. This is not what's going to happen. And
we stuck to it for the last.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope this is contagious. Whatever y'all got, I need it. Cough all. I know it's COVID season, but cough all over me. I want to catch whatever this is. It's crazy though, because the next topic that we had was talking about raising children and what happened with Dare and Euphoria. You guys watch Euphoria?
Yeah, we watched it with our kids.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a conversation right there. Okay, I was not expecting that part. So January, the National Anti-Drug Information Program (DARE) released a statement slamming the HBO hit series Euphoria by claiming the show chooses to misguidedly glorify, erroneously depict high school students' drug use. They said it was glorifying it. Now I didn't even know you guys watched it, so this is perfect.
Yeah.
What did you feel? Do you agree? What did you feel about them saying the show glorifies drug use? I want to hear your honest opinion.
In my opinion, you can't say that the one show glorifies drug use, but you have shows like, what's the white bald head guy that was digging the
Breaking Bad.
Why are we not having the same DARE company organization talk about them? Why aren't we having the same any other drug show on television? In my opinion, being the mother of two children who are actually at that age, one of them is still actually in high school. Here's my thing. I'm very open with my kids. I've always been an open parent. They know about any drugs that I've tried.
Really?
Any drugs that have been in style.
So you've been humanizing yourself to your children from the beginning.
Oh yeah. They get the real deal. They because I wish I had the real deal with me.
Yeah, me too.
It was the bullshit. It was a performative, parental, performative, older people giving advice. Nah, give me the real shit.
Right.
Y'all can get the performative stuff from your friends and from your aunties and anybody else that want to. No, I'm going to tell you how it really is. And these are things dealing with mental health, dealing with addiction, dealing with breaking generational curses.
Talk about breaking generational motherfucking curses. Well, go ahead.
Well, people need to understand why there are people that are taking drugs. There's a reason for it.
Right.
People look at taking drugs as anything. To me, it's if someone's addicted to drugs or is dealing with addiction, it's an illness. It's a sickness. It's a reason they're doing that. I've gone to therapy for over 10 years.
Congratulations for saying that publicly. That's beautiful.
You. Oh yeah, no, I'm a big advocate for therapy.
If anybody who follows the Muses hasn't heard that before, I think that there's something powerful about repeating that you are constantly in a space of seeking maintenance for your mental health.
I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for therapy.
Amen for that. Neither would I. And I never say I did the work. I hate when people get smug. Oh, I already did the work. Are you dead? Because unless you are, you're always gonna. Am I talking to a ghost?
Always in a state of
what the fuck would you mean you did it? You're done. What's wrong with you? You're 32. How are you?
You're nowhere near done. You're nowhere near done.
So you're still doing the work. I love that.
So I just really feel like people should talk about why she's doing it. So we have conversations. We have our little, what do you call it? The after show discussion.
Oh, you have after show discussion?
Every Sunday.
You don't jump when all the dicks jump out? Or the titty? Like, they got a lot of penises and titties and stuff in that show.
No. Yeah. I paint nude art.
Well, that's true, but even I alone, as a grown woman, I jump when I see all the dicks because you never know when they're coming.
But you know what? I commend actually for them to show all
They'll
the
be
dicks.
in it, right? That's true.
Because for up until now, we had to be subjected to just women showing their bodies. And as a lesbian, I shouldn't say subjected, but as at the same time, let's be equal. You know what I mean? Let's show the dicks.
It's a lot of dicks. So they broke a record. I think they actually broke a record for the most penises.
I think that was intentional.
Yeah, well, and it's good that they did.
It was like 30 dicks. Even I was like, I feel is this one of the movies on Pornhub? What's happening?
We can't judge women's titties and cooch hair and not show men's dicks.
That's true. And men are very sensitive about their penis.
They're the main ones complaining. I don't want to watch your show. It's too much dicks. But you ain't had no problem last season when there's a lot of titties.
You know what? Fragile masculinity is a thing because I had a male friend who within the first week of our friendship sent me a video of Tiana Trump. I didn't know who she was. He's like, oh, you know who she is? She's amazing. And it was like a porn video of Tiana Trump, the porn star, like getting railed, right? So a year into our friendship later, when I see a crazy video of a rapper something, I sent it to him thinking, well, clearly he's not a prude because our first week of being friends.
He sent you a porn.
He cussed me the fuck. He said, how dare you send me a video of another man's dick? Like,
so
how
it's
dare
okay. It's okay when women are subjecting themselves.
So I was like, wait a minute, a woman on her knees getting just blown out.
Right.
Within 3 days of knowing when you felt comfortable. But a year in, I can't send you a video that's gone viral. That's actually a newsworthy story.
Right.
Because it's another man's penis. I was like, you guys need to recognize all the ways you asked me to walk on eggshells, but then act as if I'm the one who's being difficult.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know how much energy it takes to be like gracious to fragile masculinity in both genders and gender identities? Because I when I dated like very aggressive. Both. Let me tell you something. Dating a very hyper-masculine woman and dating a hyper-masculine man.
It's almost sometimes worse with a woman. I be so over them. Okay, that's a whole topic now. Like, girl, just say you a trans man and move on. Because there's a difference.
There really is a difference.
There's a difference. Like, come on. Now, you can be masculine presenting. That's cool. But at the same time, like, what is masculine? What does that mean? Who defined it?
And being masculine and wanting to be a man are not the same thing.
It's not, because that's a whole nother.
I do think there's a bunch of OG lesbians though who didn't know that they were trans because they weren't allowed to know.
That's my point.
And I always try to show the OGs grace. Like when Sidney Poitier died, we talked about Betty White dying and Sidney Poitier. We had more friends talking about Betty White because she was one of those, like, before woke was a name and Ally even had a friend. Betty White and, like, you know, the 1800s were out here fighting for us, right? So I was like, yo, it shows that when you're a good person, they don't even have to give it a name. You just know what's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Sidney Poitier, on the other hand, he was taught respectability politics and he had to, for survival, assimilate. And so when he talks about us, it gets a little problematic sometimes. So when he passed away, I was like, ooh, he was a legend.
Yeah.
With a little asterisk. And I was like, how crazy is this woke white woman? It's easier for me to praise.
Well, she had the privilege.
She had the privilege, but you know they didn't take it back then.
And you know, I'm learning that now. Yeah. I'm learning that for the respectability politics to be a little bit less critical of the generations before us.
It was the survival.
It's the same thing with religion. Yeah. And so it's just like this.
That's how I talk about Oprah. I love the thing. People like, Blue, how do you talk about Oprah? Because, you know, you talk about wokeness and stuff, but she said things, and I was like, Oprah, how old is she?
Product of their environment and their upbringing.
She has actually met people in her family who were enslaved.
Yeah.
Right? And so someone who's old enough to have met living enslaved people is not someone that I'm not going to factor in their environment when I'm giving them some kind of critique.
No, because things are changing every day now.
We're going to sound stupid in 5 years.
Yes, terms.
I'm going to be calling you like, Adrienne, ask your daughter if I can say this on camera.
I know. I do that all the time. Like, is this cool? Because everything changed every day. Because now they're canceling. I don't even talk about that.
But did you just see me say enslaved people? A Generation Zer. We call them alphas. We started the alphabet all over.
Yeah.
A little baby told me, you know, we can't call them slaves no more. And I was like, wait, what?
Enslaved.
Because they're enslaved people because they were being held captive. We want to humanize them. And I was like, well, that's rich because I'm mishumanized. So I was like, you're right. So even I'm learning to say enslaved people and not call them slaves.
And that's a beautiful thing because we're open to learning consistently, continually. I feel like I always say, the day I'm not open to learning and growing is the day I'm dead. I've learned it all. I figured it out.
So
I ain't got nothing else.
Did the work?
I did the studying. I'm done.
Right. I did the work.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop saying that shit to me. Blue, no, I don't need any feedback because I did the work. Okay, honey.
All right. Well,
27, but you did the work.
The work wasn't enough.
I'm talking to a ghost.
Right. The work is not finished.
That brings it back to Whoopi Goldberg. See that? It's all connected.
Ghost.
Ghost. You see that?
I love that movie.
Now, I want to ask you a question about for people like me who came to LA to follow their dreams without a partner. Because I told you this the last time we saw each other. It's my one regret in life. But I did not come to LA pre-boot up. Actually, let me have to take that back because I'm still going to manifest a partner here. But dating in LA is the ghetto. It's the pits. It's the sale rack at TJ Maxx the day after Christmas.
Damn.
Okay.
Ooh.
You're smelling half empty bottles of sanitizer, wondering if you can bring it home. So I want to know, what advice would you give to those of us who are still in these streets fighting for our lives?
You know, don't give up.
Don't do that.
Don't give up, because you might meet somebody in LA who's not from LA. They just so happen to move here, just like you did.
The folks from here are nice. It's the transients who be out here showing their ass.
That come here. That's the worst.
The ones from here be down there. If it's the transients, we have something to prove.
I done met some people that's from here that's not so great.
Really?
Yeah, that's just like, oh, you were LA. Oh, God. Okay, girl. You think you know whatever.
I mean, I guess you're right. There are smart people everywhere. So you're saying that I need to just pray on another unicorn and we can have.
I'm going to tell you to give up.
Oh, shit. So that I can have the law of detachment, bring my partner to me?
Absolutely.
Adrienne, you're too much like me. So I'm trying to ask you.
I just be telling you what I learned for myself.
I'm trying to ask her the question, because I feel like I'll be talking to myself when I talk to you.
It's that Taurus rising. That's what it is.
Is that what it is? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, we answer everything the same. This is supposed to be a pocket. You know what I love about you guys coming, though, is again, you're keeping it real. I do believe in the law of detachment. So I have, in the healthy way, given up.
Well, that's how I found her.
Yeah, I've stopped looking.
Yeah,
I've stopped pandering to people's insecurities. I've stopped.
I did the same thing.
Dating. I stopped all of it. I'm gonna have to meet somebody at the supermarket, or somebody's gonna have to walk past me on my way to work, or something.
That's exactly how we met.
How'd you meet?
That's what I'm telling you. Like, from my personal experience, it wasn't until, because I was searching.
Yeah, that was last year for me.
And it was like, well, fuck these motherfuckers. They playing with my feelings. They playing with me.
I literally say that
like
once a month.
I know what I'm capable of, and you playing with me. So I just decided, you know what? Fuck everybody. I'm going to just do me. I'm going to love me the way I want to be loved. Everything that I wanted in a partner that I was crying about from this last woman and this last girlfriend, I'm going to do for myself. I didn't even look. I walked in a Super Bowl party.
Oh, did she?
And I didn't even know that my wife was sitting in there.
She did it, and it was so funny because
I came with 3 girls that I was messing with.
You did.
Wait. Wait in the pin pal. Pause. Bishop Don Juan over here just said, pour some more tequila. Do I need more tequila? I need to take a sip on that.
I was a hoe.
I was in my hoe phase. Hoes in this pimp. I think you were in the wrong direction. If you're walking in with 3 people, use a pimp, not a hoe. That's different.
I was not pimping women.
So you walked in with your concubines, and then what happened?
I'm an Aquarius, and we like to be free. We was having fun, and everybody knew
that you had
the situation.
You had people.
They all knew each other.
Oh shit.
We was gonna go to the party, and I had a house.
This is all getting sexier.
Yes, Adrienne used to be a promoter.
So that's what it was.
Oh, you should have just started with that.
Yeah, I should have led with that.
Yeah, if you you're a promoter, suddenly I have no questions. So you were a promoter doing what promoters do.
It makes sense, yes.
And you walked into a party,
yes.
And your wife just happened to be at the function.
Yes. Sitting down, I couldn't see
God,
she was dressed down.
Wait, Super Bowl is Aquarius season.
Yes. It is.
I didn't even fucking think about
Look at God.
We met in Aquarius season.
2 Aquariuses fell in love during Aquarius season.
Damn, I never thought about that.
You see that?
Wow.
Yeah. I just got a shiver. Did anybody else feel that?
I did.
Yeah, that's divine. I didn't even think of that. Dang, we never put that together.
No.
That's why y'all had to be.
Never.
Well, she's the one who called us in. I mean, clearly I didn't book y'all. She booked y'all.
She booked us here, yeah.
For those who are mad that Adrienne has never been to your shows, because Adrienne booked herself. Okay?
Telepathic.
So seriously, like, I have telepathic connections with folks. So Adrienne booked herself. Don't be upset. This is all supposed to. That's amazing. I think God's gonna have to come and do something. I will say though, and I know you're the only people who won't laugh at me. Last year I was being haunted by my baby.
By your baby?
I haven't had a child yet, but I have.
That's not laughing.
I have a spirit baby that started like showing up in dreams, like around June-ish.
What? That's a real thing, though, friend.
No, I had to ask somebody because it was fucking with me.
My firstborn did that. She came to me in dreams. I heard babies crying.
Yes, and it was aggressive, and so I went crazy, right? And then I went to the doctor. It happened the day after I went to the doctor for like a scare, and they gave me some medicine, right? The next day I started having dreams. 6 months later, I find out from another doctor the reason why I was probably having those dreams was because the pills they gave me, they kill embryos. Like it creates birth defects. And I was having the baby dreams the day after
you were taking them.
I started taking them. It was like she was like, "Mama, what you doing?" Like it was like my baby was mad, like, "You about to kill me, bitch. You better stop it." So I stopped taking. Like it was chilling, and the doctor prescribed them to me. She was a white woman, and I thought, because what's a woman? You're gonna look out for me, and she was pregnant. The thought that a pregnant doctor prescribed me medication that they tell you your first year in med school will create birth defects and or kill your babies. The level of chilling, and after
that leads back to systemic racism.
Because
and what they're taught in the medical schools.
Medical racism is thing.
That leads all the way back to why the Nazis knew what to do.
So that was chilling, and I was like, okay, so Ghost Baby left me alone after that. I was like, okay, well, I stopped taking the pills. Maybe she just came around and told me to stop taking them, because there would be times I'd be about to take them, and something would come over me, and I couldn't take them. And I thought I was being incorrigible. And one day, I even went to her, placebo effect, and said, hey, I've been meditating more. I've been working out with the trainer. Let's check my levels. She was like, they've gone down. Congratulations, the pill worked. I said, actually, I haven't been taking the pills. And she scolded me for not taking them. So that lady was the devil. I'm not going to say what I hope for her, but my spirit guides know what I hope for her.
Well, a lot of races come in and turn their what do you call it, hoods into badges, and a lot of women turn their hoods into medical badges and teachers.
Yeah, so I think medical racism is bad enough when it's a woman who is pregnant.
Okay.
To me, there's something so anti-human that the very thing that you're experiencing is the thing that you're trying to prevent me from having.
But what is she having?
I'm not gonna say what I hope about her, because if anything happens to her, I feel like people are gonna use this in court. I will say this though. My mother called me 3 weeks ago and said, honey, I don't know how to say this, but I had a weird dream that I went to church, and then when I went outside, a bus passed me while I was waiting for you, and when the bus cleared, it was you holding a little baby girl, and it's like, and it was yours. Like, what's that? My mother, in my entire 40 years, has never had a dream about a baby. She was like, yeah, this baby keeps coming to me in the dream. Do you know anything about this? I was like, this motherfucker went to her grandma, because she was like, the other one's not listening. Wow. So the fact that there's like some spirit baby haunting my family now, it's just moved from me to my mama. She's like, look, this one that got.
So let me ask you, what is your criteria to having a baby, to being a mother? How do you feel about that? Do you want to be a mom, and if so, does that come with a criteria?
For somebody who's never listened to podcasts, you sure act like a podcast host. You might. You're good. No, you're good. You're good.
That's just my personality.
You really. I will say this: I want a partner who I think will be a great father, and who will also be a great and I say father because I'm just being heteronormative. It could be a mother, because to be perfectly honest, I'm pansexual. Who knows what I'm going to end up with?
Right.
But I want somebody who's masculine energy, because I'm so nurturing. I don't need any more of that. But it has to be somebody who I know is going to be good to my child and be good to me, together and separately. Because I feel like a lot of times people pick people who are good fathers, and then they're horrible partners. Or people who are great partners. And horrible. I need somebody who makes me feel safe in a way that makes me feel like, damn, like when I'm not around, and if God forbid we ever broke up,
I see that.
I know that you're gonna make my baby love me as much as they need to. You know what I mean? When I see partners who break up or having a bad time, speak ill of each other to their children, it makes me want to cry, because my mother did that to me. She didn't realize how damaging it was.
And it does affect the children.
I was 26 before I was nice to my mother. People know how much I love my mom now. Until I was 26, I had a rage towards her, and didn't realize until I got a therapist that I was mad because I blamed her for keeping my dad from me. I now recognize he was a piece of shit, and she might have protected me,
right?
But because she didn't talk to me the way you talk to your kids,
right?
All I saw is, I'm a daddy's girl with no daddy, and it's your fault.
Right. It's important, It's just because it does affect them.
So do you talk to your kids about who's around and who's not around, and how that works?
Understand, and that's what me and the girls actually connected to. Because I grew up without my dad in my life.
Oh, so you understood?
Yeah, but I grew to a point where my mom didn't necessarily have to talk bad about him. I mean, she did as much as she could because she knew we needed him. But he was always going to be the same, even to this day. I mean, I guess he does the best that he can, and maybe he thinks that's enough. But I mean, it is what it is.
You guys are so pure with your love that part of me wonders, how do you keep it sexy? Because one thing for me, that when I break up in a relationship, it's usually because the person has got me, and now they've gotten lazy on me. And I'm a Gemini rising, since we've been talking about astrology.
Yeah.
And I'm also a Gemini Venus. So for those who don't know your Venus sign, this is a very educational episode.
That's how you make love.
Yeah, your Venus sign is how you make love. Your Mars is how you fuck and get mad. Your Venus sign is how you court and make love. Gemini energy, when it comes to dating, I need somebody who thinks life is one big adventure. It doesn't mean that we constantly have to be in the go, but it means that we constantly have to be elevating in some way.
Right. Yeah.
So I like to be in the house. So I don't have to always leave the house. I love being in the house.
We love being in the
house. But I love let's plan a really exotic trip for the end of the year, or let's do something fun with your business, or I want to approach life like a fun kid. You know what I mean? Almost in the way when we hear Ye talk about his music, and look, we can see the kid in him. People call him a big kid all the time, and when they say that in a bad way, I feel judged. I'm like, I'm still a big kid.
You shouldn't. It's air sign. It
is air sign energy, right?
Right, and it's also my best friends have always been Geminis.
Really?
Every single time in my life before I met her, they've always been Geminis. I always took it as though I understood them because I was the other air sign.
Mm-hmm. But by the way, guys, Aquarius is not a water sign. PSA.
Right.
Yes.
Y'all heard Aqua and lost your mind.
And saw the pouring of the water.
It said water.
No. But that's just how we're confusing. You ain't supposed to get to know
Even
us.
that, see, you're right. That shows how Aquarius be fucking with y'all.
Yeah.
My name is Aquaman. And I am a fire sign. You're like, what the fuck? Leave it to Aquarius to be the only confusing.
Exactly. That's so true. That's just like, but I don't understand.
Yes, but to the question, how do y'all keep it sexy?
Oh, well, it's definitely difficult when
she smiles so hard.
Well,
and her whole spirit.
I'm gonna let you answer.
She smiles so hard, even I felt it.
Well, she is definitely my best friend. I've never spent every single day with one person in my entire life before I met her. We've never spent a night apart. And she is my favorite person. So that's a lot to say because we also work together. So we're working together and we see each other every day. We go to bed at night saying, and she's just my best friend. And I don't want to ever be around nobody else but her. She understands me. Right. I'm free in our relationship, in our marriage. And
I know we have to tone it down when we're around people.
No, you don't. I love this shit.
Seriously, because like people be like, oh my God, they doing too much. Like,
we were like, y'all don't know to have. But I mean,
y'all are so gay.
You just have to always.
Y'all are, but I like it. It's good. It's a good kind of gay.
What you want me to do?
You just always have to be open to experimenting. And I think one thing too in our relationship.
Wait a minute, open to experimenting. Okay,
yeah, and I think one thing about our relationship is there's no boundaries. I'm just as open as she is just as open. Mm-hmm. And when you have someone that allows you to be so free and they're free and confident within themselves, it's just like, oh, so we can do whatever, and you're just like, no judgment. No, we like that. No, we didn't like that. And you also have to. I like role playing. So I enjoy pretending that, I may have a different profession or, maybe, we met in different circumstances and she just goes along with it. I love it. So, but I think it has a lot to do with her as a person.
I love this.
I feel like everybody can't do that in a relationship, but it just depends on who you're with. And she's a perfect person.
Rules.
I'm gonna let you. I'm so completely tickled by everything she just said.
I just go with the flow.
She goes with the flow.
Because you trust her, though.
Oh yeah, but that's what leads me back to the beginning. If without trust,
there's nothing.
There's a whole other realm of issues that I can't even be myself around you. Now I can't be myself. I have to put up all my layers because I'm a very complex person.
Yeah,
and you have to have keys to get certain layers. Mm-hmm. But the person that I'm sleeping with every night, I don't need to be questioning those keys that I gave you.
That's true.
So with her, I just feel like whatever she wants to do, whatever she feels, whatever, I'm just going to easy go with it.
You know what I call that? And this is the one. Actually, this is back to the question you asked me. I want someone who trusts my heart and whose heart I can trust. And whenever I've had a relationship end, it's because they revealed they didn't trust my heart.
Yeah.
And recently, I always say friendships are a great breeding ground for practicing what you're going to do in your romantic relationships. Because you can't just be shitty to everybody, but only nice to your partner. You actually you have to be nice to your friends in some kind of way and practice with them.
Have to. Because when you're in a long-term relationship, after a certain amount of years,
that's
it ain't
your
no romance. It is your friend.
That's your
and if you don't know how to be friends with your partner, it's gonna fail. And I think that's the number one thing that people ask us, what's the secret to making it work? And to me, it is having a really good foundational friendship.
Yeah, we connect on a friendship level and a relationship level. So it's like not only
that's your bestie.
Not only am I in love with you, bro, I like you. You my
nigga. Every day. If you had a camera inside our bedroom.
It looks like a sandbox.
You would honestly know. Like
two kids playing around the sandbox.
You have no idea. When I say we tone it down for people, we tone it down 60%.
You're like, yay! Like two happy little kids.
I am like jumping around
every single day since 2012.
You know what the crazy thing is? Like that means that if one of you accidentally says something wrong, you perceive good intent or at least ask clarifying questions and don't jump to conclusions.
I do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I have to say, and this is something that will make me, I don't care how long I've known you. I had a friend that I've known for almost 30 years. This would have been our 30th year anniversary. And it would have been past tense.
Yeah.
And I recognized that I got to a place where I completely trusted him. And whenever he did something bad, and when he did things like they were pretty egregious, I'd be like, I trust your heart, though. Let's talk about it. Like, why'd you do that? And so he'd be beating himself up, judging himself, whatever. And I'd be like, no, you're a good person. We both know that. Let's talk about how you got here, right? I found out after all these decades that anything I did that bothered him, he pretended he was okay and he was judging me quietly and talking about me to other people.
Ooh.
So I'm up here giving you pep talks about you doing things that might be even like illegal and just immoral.
Yeah.
But let me like tell a joke that hits you wrong. Or say something that makes you feel insecure. And I'm the devil.
This is why I don't like people.
And so I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm out here being your Olivia Pope and putting out fires.
Going to bat for them.
But me having bass in my voice on a bad day, that don't get grace. And it made me realize that I don't care how much I've known you, 10, 20, 30 years. If you don't trust my heart now, you never will, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's almost as close as a relationship people have with their parents.
No, like to me, that was a husband. Like that, I was like, you're my husband equivalent. I'm using this relationship to and I will say thank you to him if he ever watches this, because he's the reason why I know I'm ready to be a wife.
Yeah.
Because I had to unlearn so much ugly shit to love him properly.
Yeah.
I was condescending when I met him. I was smug. I was non-forgiving. I was so many things that are ugly, and I had to unlearn them to love him properly. So even though he was faking it, and that's a lot to fake, the fact that I showed up as my real self and got to grow in loving him, I'll never forget the time that we spent together. But I still want to know, how did it, like, especially for you guys, considering how much I know you guys are funny about who's around you, how did you guys know that you trusted each other's hearts? Was there a moment?
Specifically for me, I don't know about you, but I know I was a little bit earlier than her. We had been dating for a little bit, and she started. What's
a little bit? Because they make fun of lesbians for not knowing time.
Y'all be thinking you're right. This is a different timeline.
Was it 3 days?
It was like I would a few weeks. It was we had been dating for
that's a real little bit.
For through a few weeks.
Well, let me just say, I put it down. So you know, our whole relationship was like that space.
For sure.
Like, oh, this is my girlfriend. Oh, you want to be my fiance? Oh, you want to marry me? Oh, let's get married.
It was the U-Haul.
No, facts. Definitely. But I have panic attacks. I was having panic attacks at the time. I don't anymore, but really bad panic attacks, even in my sleep. So I'll be stuck in like a nightmare at the time. Oh. And I didn't know how to get out of the panic in the dream. So I have anxiety and panic attacks during waking hours.
Me too. We really are the same fucking person. Go ahead.
Facts. But like,
Jesus.
And in my sleep, it was just, oh, well, you got to deal with it. You got to come out when you come out. So this particular time she had fallen asleep on my chest, and I was in the middle of a panic attack in my dream. And I was stuck. I had no cognizance, like awareness that she was even there.
It was like sleep paralysis, maybe?
In a way, but it's hard to explain. Like these particular set of nightmare dreams were like, not sleep paralysis because I was in a dream. I wasn't aware that I was awake.
Oh, so it was like a night terror. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was a night terror. So it was like that. But I woke up to her kissing my heart.
Oh my God. I'm about to cry. Is it the tequila?
So I don't know what I was doing in my nightmare to let her know she didn't wake me up. She didn't abruptly do anything. She was just kissing my heart. This is something I never told anyone. I'd never shared that I was even having panic attacks.
I don't even think I even knew that about you. Or even knew. I just think
I wasn't sharing it with anyone. It was something I kept to myself for a long time, and still many years afterwards. But she was kissing my heart continuously over and over and over and over to wake me up out of this. What I'm sure was assuming was just a bad dream.
Yeah, bad dream.
But that's when I knew I loved her. I knew it. I saw her whole life. I knew it.
You're welcome to all of you who are listening to this on Valentine's Day. I told you this would be worth it. I want somebody to kiss my heart. I mean, I got big titties though, so it's a lot, but I want somebody, like producers even laughing. Look, if you kiss my heart and we end up doing it afterwards because you went too far left, it's okay. That's a beautiful.
It be like that. Listen.
Look, I was reaching for your heart, but here we are.
Listen, we up now. So
and then my spirit baby will come and I'll be like, look, I was just kissing your heart.
That's how it is.
It's a beautiful story. I actually need to pause on the romance for a second because I'm overwhelmed.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys have made me feel more loved than whole relationships I've been in. This is amazing. Which also speaks ill of my former partner. Shame on y'all. Like, damn, my bar is on the floor.
Dang, I thought I was great. We had a great relationship.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. People kissing people's hearts and shit? The fuck? Like, I'm trying to get text back in a due time.
I couldn't even make it up if I wanted to.
That's very specifically Disney. Mm-hmm. If you were anybody else, I'd be like, they are putting on a show.
Nah, I'm telling you, we tone it down. We tone it down. That's not even the whole story.
You know what? I want that kind of love that is so obnoxious that we have to tone it down for the public.
We have to, because I know you're going to get sick of it. If I really told you the real shit, you'd be disgusted.
No, I love that shit, but you know me, I'm a squeal like a pig. And I'm like,
yeah! Right. Or you're going to be so uncomfortable in your own relationship that you're going to be like, okay, so we need to go.
Yeah, go home like, so I got questions, because you don't be kissing nothing, right? But my ass. Okay, last question. I know this went by fast. This is the last question, and I want to sit with this one because it speaks to a lot of my triggers, and I think they might be some of your triggers. Because I feel like we have similar value systems, and I do want you guys to come back for an episode about spirituality, just about spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
I could not have the love conversation and spirituality conversation in one because they're both so mean.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to do that to them.
Yeah.
But Kiara, I hope that's her name. I'm not in the church, but you're a preacher's kid.
Kiara Sheard.
There we go. Yeah. She's the daughter of legendary gospel singer Karen Clark
Sheard.
I love that we got a church person.
When I say I grew up in the church, I'm not gonna be playing like these other. I grew up. I was born in it.
Right.
Well, Kiara, thank you for helping with that. Recently shared on an interview that she listens to her mother's advice by not letting people sleep in her house because she has a husband. She doesn't let women sleep over.
Kiara doesn't let people sleep over because she has a husband.
But yes, because her mother said, you don't let people get too familiar with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said this, the comment section where it was posted went wild, where you don't trust him, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's my two minds. I can trust you all day long, but two things I don't like are funny shit and overfamiliarity. Mm-hmm. And so even if I trust my husband and you not to cheat, I don't want somebody who's overfamiliar with my relationship in general. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily like I'm insecure. Because the comments were like, you so insecure. Yeah. What kind of husband you got? And I was like, no, if I don't want somebody getting overfamiliar with my relationship, that's not about insecurity. That's about protecting something that's sacred.
Yeah.
But I'm also a bitch who's single, right? So I'm asking y'all, and I will say this about the relationship hierarchy. You guys are the only ones who are above me in the relationship hierarchy, because we think the relationship hierarchy, and it's Valentine's Day, when you're watching this, is you're either in a relationship, which means you won, or you're single, you lost. When it comes to emotional, I love that Adrienne's face was like, that sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
When it comes to emotional intelligence work, the relationship hierarchy is healthy relationship is the best because it's two people who are working on themselves, now working together. Right underneath that is you healthy by yourself. Because it's still one person who's keeping it in your lane and being healthy.
Yeah.
At the very bottom is being in a toxic relationship. Yeah. And everybody else who's alone but not making anybody else's problems in the middle.
Yeah.
So in that healthier hierarchy, as somebody who's doing the work on my own, the only exalted space is me to be in a healthy relationship.
Right.
So when I have friends who are in shitty relationships who are feeling bad for me, I'm like, you talking about shit from down there? Like, what are you talking about?
They're definitely beneath you because I can do bad by my fucking self.
Like, I'm healthy and whole and I'm not crying myself to sleep.
Absolutely not.
How am I the one getting the pity?
That's that extra realm of bullshit. That's what I be trying to say. Single people, you are not over. Single people have it way better than toxic relationships.
You're literally several steps above them.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like they're
actually pulling you down. The toxicity in that relationship is whoever is the strong one in that is being pulled down.
Absolutely, because you're losing yourself in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do agree with that. I was like, why do people who are in bad relationships be acting like they feel? I'm like, nobody wants that.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
Because you just have somebody to lay to next time. Like, okay,
they talk about you crazy when they get drunk anyway.
Right. Because I think a lot of it, to Karen Clark Sheard's daughter. What's her name? Kiara?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, we got on a tangent. How do you think about that point, though, about not having random people?
I think that stems from religion, in my experience, because my parents are together. They've been together for 41 years. Every day. I've never seen my father leave or curse or leave my mother a night. None of that. He's been a man of God my entire existence.
Oh wow!
So I know nothing else than two faithful people. If there were some issues in their marriage, I never knew about it. The kids never knew. We never saw any inkling of it. But at the same time, I think a lot of her thinking that way is from the church because growing up in that relationship with my parents, I've never seen no woman standing out of my house.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Oh my God. Very vaguely did I even have friends that were my age come over my house that could spend the
night. And y'all saw soul food, right? You know what happens when you let people get familiar.
Facts.
Now cousin Faye and somebody.
Faye, fuck my husband. What are you gonna do now, huh?
Everybody who was cussing this girl out in the Shade Room's comment section, I'm like, did y'all not watch soul food?
Okay.
I'm like, she's not making
but
this
at the same time, I don't want
to
to sound anti-man.
No, it's not about the man, but it's about that, like, why even create spaces where
he would fall victim? But
Dr. Phil always says, instead of saying, how do I stop eating cookies, stop having cookies in your house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, instead of saying willpower or trust, why are you like?
Why are you with a man that you got to question bringing people around? Is that what you're saying?
My thing is, I don't like anybody being overfamiliar in my relationship because I think that overfamiliarity will actually ruin relationships.
Agree.
Because if you have a tribe member who loves you, because people think because somebody loves you, they can't hurt you. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
If you have a tribe member who loves you and they are going through their shit, they're gonna sometimes unconsciously project their shit onto your relationship.
Sometimes.
Not even if they're not cheating with your man, they're still saying, oh, well, when I was getting the cereal the other day, I noticed that he did X, Y, and Z. You don't think it's funny he does that? They can still plant seeds that have nothing to do with the union, but now you're giving them access to do so.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, cousin Faith and them. It's also about like, I'm not in a relationship with you. I don't need you too much in our business.
It's absolutely not.
Well, I mean, is it?
And that's something else I was taught
is
too.
it a group setting? Like, I mean, we've had trips where we've like,
a trip is different.
No, a trip is different, but like she's saying, I guess more so like a familiar person that feels so familiar with your relationship that they can just pop up at the house anytime and chill overnight.
I'll give you a perfect example. You made a new friend. She's amazing, right? She's a baddie. You love her. She's great. She hasn't found her person yet, but she constantly talks about how much she loves y'all's relationship. And she's going through a bad patch and wants to know if she can stay with y'all for 3 months. Kiara's saying that Big Booty Judy should probably find her a hotel. Because unless she wants to be a third wife.
Madam Muse is saying she should probably find a hotel.
I'm saying she should probably find a hotel.
So we are agreeing with her.
Yeah, girl, first of all, we like our space. And I mean, there's already a lot of us. So you want to add on to that? It's like, no.
It's already a sorority house in my house right now.
At that point, it does feel kind of third wife-ish.
It does. Facts. And then it's like even when someone's staying with you, it's like you have to constantly consider them and think of them, and your space is no longer your space because now it's another energy in there and you're feeding off of that, and it's just like it's a lot going on, and your home is supposed to be your sacred space, and someone entering that is going to disrupt it no matter how much you try to do. Yeah.
And disruption is disruption. If we broke up because you cheated or we broke up because my friend and I were talking shit about you,
it don't matter.
We're still broke up because like something happened where somebody like infused and interloped.
Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful in them states because they put on a pretty face and look good and slide right on in them. But if you dumb enough to let that happen, then shame on you.
Do you guys worry about each other's friends? Well, not at this point. It's past tense because clearly you're all one tribe. But like I used to worry about dating people whose friends I didn't trust because my thing was when we have a fallout, who are you asking for advice?
Right.
And if she's already not rooting for us,
right,
I already have two things working against me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like, do you guys, how do you factor in friendships and tribes when it comes to keeping your unit together?
I think when we first met too, we kind of were going through similar situations in our small hometown. It was like this big drama around it, and nobody wanted us to be together. Long story. And so
because they knew we were going to be that couple, and I mean I can't help it. There's nothing you can do to stop this. I'm going to get what I want.
So we became a couple, and honestly lost most of our 99% of our friends.
Oh, okay. So we kindred. Okay, bad.
So we became each other's best friends. So now
but then the friends that we've grown to know and love here. I mean, the people in LA, I must say, has been the most open.
They love the fuck out of y'all.
The most open people I've ever met. Like
when they talk about y'all, you levitate. Like they talk about y'all like y'all levitate.
So good. I was just telling her the other day. I was like, I wonder what our people say about us when we're not around.
It's mystical.
Said that. I always thought about that.
I love our friends. I think our friends really have all of our best interests at heart. When I say our friends,
they know who they are. Yeah, we love hard.
We love
hard. You never have them question.
Yeah, a lot of our friends. We've been friends with them for years,
and they've shown that I can trust them around my wife. I can leave them home alone with my wife, or she can leave with us together, and nothing
because it's not like that. It's like I think they see us not only as a couple, but it's like individually we're their friends too.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like I have to be a certain way with Adrienne or be a certain way with Nick. It's just like no, it's them.
Okay. You know what? I love what you said about losing 99% of your friends because I purged. It was pruning season. So many people who were no longer in alignment with me, right? They're not bad. Even the friend of 30 years.
Yeah,
you know what?
No.
I was a crutch for him. Because even in that story, I self-identified. Why was I doing so much for a grown man?
But you learned a lesson, though.
Yeah. So God was like, honey, you're both a crutch for each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So if God had to give him a stupid reason for us to whatever, I see no problem with that.
Same.
But somebody said to me, you keep on asking for your partner. This might be what was necessary because you didn't have friends that were conducive to being a tribe for a partnership. You had friends that were fed off of you constantly giving too much.
Oh, and that was right.
And your partner needs that energy. And so it probably was for the best that you're clearing space for someone.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of partnership, and this is my last segue. I love how you see how you just be throwing them out. Speaking of,
well, since you said,
since we're talking about partnership, I wanted to end on this note because this is something that is educating the community. It makes me very proud of you guys. You guys, we're talking about releasing an NFT, and I wanted to give space to you before we wrap up to number one, tell old people like me what the fuck is an NFT. What the? Zach, do you know what an NFT is?
This is gonna be one of those.
What the fucking NFT
This is gonna be like that. I don't know if it was Jimmy Fallon. I don't know. Somebody was like talking to Bill Gates in like the early 2000s or 90s.
He was like,
was like the internet. This is the internet. You're
I
gonna
need you to explain
this,
the internet to me.
And then
so I'm coming out saying you guys think I'm a know-it-all. I don't know what the hell an NFT is, and neither do you. Shut up. So we're gonna let people who have figured it out, because everybody's lying. Somebody was like, "Yeah, it's like NFTs," and so I got funny. I was like, "What's an NFT?" I mean, you don't know either. Shut up. So you've all been lying on the internet. You've all been watching 19 Keys, and you want to sound smart. You don't know either.
First of all, let's preface this by saying we're all still learning about the NFT
but you're
space.
Lying about it.
It's still new, but a lot of people are lying about it.
Can we just? It's called Humanized. Okay?
Yeah,
let's humanize the fact that you lying about NFTs. You don't know what the internet is yet.
It's okay. You need to do a little bit more research, and that's fine.
So Al Gore, explain to us how dial-up works.
All right. You want to take it or you want me to take it?
So you can take it.
Okay.
I'm so scared because I feel 112 right now.
Well, that's fine. And we were all scared before TikTok came in to our realms and before Instagram came in, and we didn't know what it was, and we laughed at it, and I'm not ever getting a TikTok and da-da-da-da. Now everybody has TikTok. Instagram is led by TikTok. The biggest pages and the funniest shared algorithm posts and content is TikTok.
Recycled TikToks.
Yeah. Right. So long story short, without this being like an hour-long segment, is like a non-fungible token is what NFT stands for. And the best way that I kind of like explain to people in like my elevator pitch and what a NFT is okay, so I'm a painter. And painters create art, right? Or an artist. I don't want to say artist because it's so vast. Because you have singers who are artists who make art and their art is songs. And you have actors and producers and directors and movie writers who make movies and that's their art.
So it's like they're offering. Okay.
Right. So I say that to say this. As a visual artist or a painter, never before in history, in America specifically, have I been able to, or any artists, anyone, Jeff Koons is the #1 artist in America right now. Basquiat, you may be familiar with them.
Jean-Michel, yes.
Okay, so if Basquiat sold a painting in 1987 for $300, once he sells it to them, now it's worth $3 million, right?
Yeah.
When that person who had it and only bought it for $300 sells it for $3 million, they get all that profit. Basquiat doesn't get any of that. Meanwhile, if you wrote The Matrix or if you wrote Beyonce's Irreplaceable, every time we use that artist's art, that artist gets royalties or streaming revenue from their art that they put out.
Right.
An actor, every time you see The Cosby Show, Vanessa gets checks from that.
Royalties.
Artists were the only one, visual artists were the only ones up until now that had the opportunity to receive residual income from their sales of their work, from their intellectual property, their art. NFTs provides that from a base standpoint of, whereas Beyonce puts out Irreplaceable as a song and you stream it today, she still gets payments on it. I put out an NFT and after doing the Super Bowl, a mural for the Super Bowl, my status or value as an artist has increased. So if you purchase an NFT from me, not only do I receive royalties, if say you purchase an NFT from me and you held on to one of them for 5 years or for 5 months or whatever, now the art of that artist or that project, it is valued at so much more that you can flip that NFT. Say I sold it for $200 initially. You bought it for $200. Now I have done the Super Bowl. I've done all these different things and raised myself as an artist. Now you can have an opportunity to make money as an investor in my art as well. So not only do every time you sell my NFT, I get a royalty on it, percentage, like Beyonce's Irreplaceable, but also you can make money off of flipping my NFT. So you bought it for $200, now it's worth $2,000. You've made that extra profit.
Oh, so it feels like almost like the way people try to explain like the internet versus also like stocks. Like it's like this weird amalgamation of my God.
Yeah, so that's Web3. So NFTs are a part of Web3. We're currently in Web2 right now. So Web1, you think of AOL, dial-up.
Yes.
Web2, you think of social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
And then this is the next frontier.
Web3 is NFTs, metaverse, NFTs, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs are not just art. They could be this podcast. You can drop the recording of this audio as an NFT.
Drop an NFT. I'm just playing.
Yeah. You can though because you can open a podcast in the metaverse. You can build the metaverse. And web, because I'm telling you right now, in 5 years, everyone's going to fucking be on it.
And I was hanging out with somebody who works with Meta yesterday. Yeah,
everyone's going to be on it. You can talk about it. Be a skeptic all you want.
It's coming whether you like it or not.
You're on Instagram. Shut up. You were probably one of the skeptics on Instagram.
Is now owned by Meta.
Thank you. You're already on it.
The ship has sailed. We are on Amistad. Let's go.
Right.
That's a bad analogy because Amistad was not taking us anywhere good. Right. It's the tequila. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one.
But yes, we're in Web3. You could take this podcast and make it an NFT.
So if somebody was to so talk to me like I'm 5. If somebody purchases an NFT for you, what do they get tangibly? Because now we're in the virtual world.
Okay,
is it like a link?
So is it a so my NFTs come with what we call in the Web3 atmosphere utilities.
Oh, okay.
And so think of it like an asset. So yes, everyone's like, oh, I can just screenshot the picture that you bought from Adrienne,
right?
And I have it too, but you can't sell it. That's like wearing a fake Rolex.
But if you need money, if your valuables can't make you money, then you don't have an asset. You don't have any asset.
You can
it's a liability.
Feel free to screenshot it. Hey, do what you want to. That's just like it's a million fake Mona Lisas. There's only one hanging in the Louvre.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
So you have the only unique NFT that I've ever put out. So I'm only putting out 10,000. You have one that's uniquely hand drawn, and my first NFT drop. So we would be considered OGs in the NFT land in like 5 years.
When is the drop? Did it already happen? What's happening?
So we haven't
here to look.
We haven't mentioned the drop, but if you follow Serious Genies, we will start to kind of roll out.
What's the at for them? Spell it out for those who are listening.
Okay, so Serious Genies is on Twitter. That's SiriusGenies, and you can also join our Discord, which our Discord link is in our Twitter bio. So that's how you can get all the updated information.
And what are your Twitter bios? I want everybody to hear all the things because I know the few folks who have never heard of you are now obsessed.
So on TikTok, we're the Muses. That's
TheMuses. Yeah.
And then on Instagram and Twitter, and TikTok separately, my art is on im.muse. And
I'm on Instagram. That's the letter J.muse. Yeah. And you have a different Twitter handle.
Wait, what's your Twitter handle?
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, it's Muse.
So many now.
It's Muse, MUSE _ Madam, MADAM.
You're such a wife. You're like, look, we're going to get this out.
She handles all the logistics, all the operations. I'm the creative of this business venture. And if it was not for her, I would not be here because God knows my ADHD brain is on 3,000 different things.
That's a true partnership because just because you're equals doesn't mean everybody's fed the same way.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, stop making fun of Oprah and Stedman because one thing I would say as somebody who's met this man,
you don't know what
the minute you're around him, you're like, well, I get it, say less.
Yes, you don't know what she's giving him.
He gives such strong
power source,
confident man energy.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't. She can do the world domination thing. I have my own money. I'm a grown ass man. I love her. This just happens with my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his real wife, but common law.
Yeah.
And so I love that she has a partner who is not in any way competing or compromised by her beauty.
That's another reason why LA relationships don't work. A lot of people out here trying to make it and they in competition with their partner.
The minute you compete with me, I dry up. I don't want to be with you anymore because I didn't come here for that.
Do not compete. That's so stupid to me, though.
It is. I am so freaking sad. Because this is coming out on Valentine's Day, is there anything that you can shout that you're working on that by then will be safe to tell the public?
Yes. We are currently we've been asked to commission the Sophie Stadium before the Rams won to paint a mural working with Smirnoff and the NFL. So It's our biggest.
Did y'all hear that?
Project
the
to date.
NFL. For those of you in foreign lands, there's the National Football League. Did I make that up? Is that what it stands for? Okay.
I think that's what it means.
This is not a sports podcast.
Right.
But
I've never watched a football game in my life.
Okay.
And I was a cheerleader, and I'll honestly understand
just shows
it all.
that whatever's for you,
It's for you.
It's for you.
Yes, your art and your talent speaks for itself.
I shout out to my Donna. She just passed away from breast cancer.
Aww.
And I really feel like she was a huge football playing fan, and she had a lot to do with bringing that to me.
I'm so happy you said that, because whenever somebody loses somebody, I said, don't get mad, but you have a fresh ancestor.
Facts. So you have a strength. You have a sword carrying warrior on your side now.
When my aunt passed away, it was the worst day of my life. I thought in the moment I grieved her, but every single thing that happened to me after that was like, she's been over there busy.
Over there working.
That lady's calling in all the fucking favors.
Yeah, I didn't even know the Super Bowl was happening in Los Angeles. That's just how.
And now you get NFL money.
My whole family's an NFL family. I was the one in the room drawing.
And you the one getting the check though.
Come on.
Won't she do it?
Won't she do it?
You guys, I love how abundant this conversation was. I love how authentic it was. I love that I was able to pop your podcast cherry. Do you see how fun this is?
No, I have fun.
I could do this all day, every day. Let's do it again.
And here's the thing. And whenever people come on, I always say, no, I try to book them in the moment. Clearly you booked yourself the first time. This time I'm going to book you.
Right,
I'm going to say that I do want you guys to come back, especially around like May or June, because I love talking about mental health, and I also talk about the LGBTQ community. I got like a little bit of a throat tickle on that. That came out my mouth, because I think a lot of times the way that gay people show up with each other. Mm-hmm. You know how marginalized people are to their own, because there's a feeling of lack that's fed to them, and then they feed it to each other.
It's like colorism in the broader scale of the Black community.
Absolutely. And so I also want you guys to come back, because there are so many topics that speak to my heart directly that I think are educational.
Yeah. I would love to come
back. This one was inspirational, because we all know about love, right?
Yeah.
And I want this to be, and this is what I was thinking of, I didn't tell you ahead of time.
Okay.
This is the episode that I'm manifesting, that whoever's at home alone, who feels sad or lonely or questioning where they are in love, because Valentine's Day, whether you talk shit or not, we know what the day means. And if you don't have it, we know how people feel.
Yes.
I want them to play this. That's why I wanted to be an extra long episode and have us be their Valentine.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for being my
co-Valentines.
We will be
anybody who's listening.
We will bring you your inspiration.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day from us.
Follow our YouTube, the Muses.
Yes, follow their YouTube. Their vlogs are amazing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes, we are a beam of light.
I just work here.
She do. I'm just, we're just here to spread the love and give positive energy in as many ways as we can, because, whether you're alone, whether you're with somebody, you need this, and we're just here to give it. So I have a lot to give, so I can fit you in there.
I called your management to make sure you guys were good, and Simone was in Mexico. I think I heard music.
Simone.
I smelled a tortilla or something. I was like, "Are you eating? What's happening?" Yeah, so I'm happy that the tequila, is that what we're drinking? I had a lot.
Yes, we are.
We never answered the question if it was racist to think it was going to be good because a Mexican person recommended it.
Well, I don't know, because the best tequila that I've ever had was in Mexico.
That part.
And shout out to the Mexican community. I need somebody from the Mexican community to be on the show. Actually, booked my friend Carla. She's coming next month. Because California is Mexico.
You have to say that like that. Like, it can't be racist, bro, because y'all drink. Mexicans made tequila, correct?
Yes.
I don't know that for sure.
So Carla, when you come on, I might send her this video ahead of time.
Yeah.
I want her to talk about what it's like being a Mexican person in former Mexico dealing with racism.
That's a great
question. Imagine how that feels.
Yeah. I would love to know.
I cannot wait. And Carla is a tourist. She's an educator. She's brilliant as fuck.
I love Tauruses.
She's gonna come for y'all next. So yeah, when she comes on, you're gonna love that. I want to do a party. I think sometime in April when all the former guests.
Oh, that would be cool.
That sounds
come
fun.
together.
Yeah.
Because there's a community of folks that I'm like, yo, this is me telling you, these are people who are real. The whole point of the show is when I see you guys are so mystical and magical and wonderful, but you're still people.
Yeah, you're gonna get that.
But sometimes people forget to humanize folks who they look up to.
Yeah,
and a lot of folks look up to you.
And I appreciate you for seeing us.
I appreciate the love, the support, everyone who sees us, for you seeing us for who we are, and
yeah, because we are people. Because I be going through it.
Aww.
Yes, she does. Check on your strong friends, y'all.
Only if you're equipped.
Yes.
If you're gonna judge them for what they tell you, don't call my house.
Then you ain't gonna catch the horns. But.
Yeah, because sometimes you check on a strong friend, you're not equipped. You're like, let me back up.
Right, definitely. But if you can, even if you think your friends have it all together, still check on them, because you never know what no one's going through. So
That's
definitely.
True. And Valentine's is just a date. Thank you guys for coming. Can we do one more toast?
Yeah.
We're gonna toast to NFTs.
Come on, NFTs.
Because I know a lot of y'all were waiting for that part. Like, what the fuck is an NFT?
And we have links too to help you understand them more as well.
Educate the community.
But we realized that we're gonna have to. We thought we were just, because I went into this, I've been studying since 2020, and I was like, no, I'm not fucking teaching nobody nothing. That's not my calling. I'm just going to put it out there. And
you a whole teacher.
Yes, there's so many books, so many YouTube videos that describe everything about NFTs, and our Discord has links too, so I know this is still the beginning, but I don't want people to feel left out. So we need to be involved while we were left out.
Pioneering motherfuckers.
Yes. Aquarians.
Yeah.
Visionaries. We the ones that step out first. And then see it.
It's all safe, guys.
Yeah. Sometimes it ain't, but it's okay.
Let's toast to visionaries and the vision all coming together.
Oh, come on.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
because I received that 7 years back text with my eyes eye whites.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you guys for having us.